Do you guys want to do a recap? I don't know if we need one.
We fell from the heavens.
Yeah, you fell from the heavens, though I will give you the option. I don't know that I feel one's necessary, because last game was pretty straightforward, but if Wayne gives me one, he might be able to earn his bullet back.
All right. Well, we started in prison.
Yeah.
Nobody else was around. Nobody else was around. I don't remember much of that because I got electrocuted and was unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
Hearts and Molly showed up, which is a woman and a robot. Hearts is the robot that has a heart sticker on his chest.
Correct.
And they showed up because they thought the station was going to be empty and they were going to crash it into the moon and salvage it. That didn't happen because we were there, and then somebody shot missiles from the Earth up towards it. So
just missiles.
Nuclear missiles.
We escaped aboard her ship while we told the other survivors, the other prisoners, about the drop pods.
Was her ship called the Molly Hatchet?
No,
Nice.
it's called the Cygnus.
You missed an opportunity there, Dan.
There were Aurora, basically pods of supplies, and we told the other prisoners about that. They loaded up into that and escaped. We don't know how many survived, but we know Fat Tony made it because we found him.
Right.
And we got our truck, and we got a few supplies from that, and then drove off. And then they tried to blow us up with missiles.
Okay, so you guys you laid low for a little while to make sure that you weren't being directly pursued. And
Take my bullet because I'm going to need it.
okay, and in the course of that time, you guys have taken up residence in the town of Dixon, Illinois. All right, Dixon, Illinois, for anyone who's, and by the way, to give credit where credit is due, the location of this game, while I'm going to be writing a lot of the specifics, location of this game was inspired by a suggestion from listener, I'm going to guess how to pronounce his name. It's Vecky, Veche, Vessi? I'm going to guess Vecky. Vecky Young. And I'm going to be taking some tidbits from a document that Sergeant Dan sent me. So we're going to be pulling some of their ideas into this game. It's not like written by them or whatever. I'm still fleshing out most of it, but I do want to give credit to them for some of the elements that will come up in the course of this campaign. All right, so you guys are currently living in the town of Dixon. And to give you a sense of what Dixon looks like, here's a map of it. If you're at home, go to Google Maps, look up Dixon, Illinois. That's Dixon, not Dickson.
Dixon is balls.
And
It's Dixon.
it's a rural-ish town, so it's not a large town. It's cut through the middle by the Rock River. There's a little island here in the middle that had a nature reserve on it. And there are some bridges that are still usable. They've had to do a little bit of work, shall we say, on keeping the decks going, the decking of the bridge up and such. But there are two bridges across the Rock River. And one of the useful things about the positioning of this town for you guys is, since what you've opted to work towards is salvage and things like that, is this is a trade stop along the Rock River. So there is a place here where you can, as you salvage things, offload them. Now, what you know about your area, 100 miles to the east is Chicago itself. Chicago, unlike St. Louis, squarely nuked. You have heard that there are still people that live there, but you've heard that it's a very violent and disorganized place. Exactly who controls it is in constant flux.
Do we know if it was turned into a crater or if it was like one of those gamma bombs that kill
neutron bomb?
Yeah, neutron bomb.
No, it was cratered.
Okay.
So it was cratered, but people have since begun living there again, though once again, it's unlike St. Louis, you don't have houses that are operating at a political level, you more or less have open warfare between gangs and subdivisions of people and whatever that have varying levels of decency and lawfulness. It's not a good place to be. And so you're aware that's to the east. I can't imagine you've gone there, but I don't know, maybe you have. Now, to the west of where you are, so if you take the Rock River west of where you are, it's about, I think it's about, a little over 10 miles west down the Rock River. There is another 2 towns that, just like Dixon, the Rock River cuts between them. These 2 towns, on the north bank, you have Sterling, and on the south bank, you have Rock Falls. And what you know about Sterling and Rock Falls from discussion with the locals here in Dixon is that some years back, not a long time ago, so let's just say maybe about 7-8 years ago, there was a feud between basically just a clash of personalities and interests between Dixon and what one time was a unified town of Sterling and Rock Falls. What has occurred since then is, during that feud, the mayor of that other town was killed. And in the power vacuum, 2 individuals rose up with very different takes on how the city should be run and what constitutes justice, and whether they want to exist in peace or continue their feud with Dixon and such. And so now the town of Sterling, which is on the north side, is run by a guy who calls himself mayor, Mayor Bob Tanker. And the south side is ruled by a guy by the name of General Everest, who was the leader of their militia. And the 2 of them exist in a more or less Cold War that is primarily over trade and resources that pass through the area, which Dixon, being unified across the river on both sides, doesn't have this kind of dispute. And that actually is damaging their trade, because of the fact that boats coming through, you got people on the north side that want you to trade, people on the south side that want you to trade, and depending on which one you pick and what mood somebody's in, somebody might pop a shot at you or whatever. And so that is actually pushing more to the town of Dixon. And how much Dixon is doing to antagonize this behind the scenes, that would be an interesting question to look into, so should you so choose. All right, so you guys, it's not terribly hard to hide the fact that you are from the station. People saw your the Cygnus come down and crash. They saw the fighter planes do the attack runs. They have seen the Aurora pods land and then get destroyed. You guys have hidden your vehicle. And by the way, I went back and put some on ap.feartheboot.com. I put some visual references for both the habitat you guys have and also for the vehicle that you guys have. And so you guys have stashed that stuff away. You've kind of hidden it until the heat dies down. And you have been living in a house that is across the street from, and kind of there in the good graces of some kindly individuals that have taken you in. You're not living in their house. I say you're living in a house that's across the street from them, but they're helping you get acclimated to life on Earth. They've spent some time sort of explaining the lay of the land to you. They've been mentoring you in basic survival and things like that. You've probably also picked up from some local scuttlebutt from them. And it helps for you guys that these 3 individuals are all rather important people to the town. So who you are across the street from is Susan and Thomas Mills. And Susan is the mayor of Dixon. And Thomas, he's a fisherman, and whether that's by trade or because of the fact that he just likes fishing and has basically pisses his day away fishing, Depends on whether you ask Thomas or Susan.
Do what you're good at.
Yeah.
Do what you love.
Yeah.
But he does also keep very loose books, and I mean very loose books. Like if a trade ship pulls up, he's the one that greets them. And when I say trade ship here, I'm talking like rafts and such.
Right.
I'm not talking like big boats here. But he's the one that greets them and kind of gets them set up and figures out what they want. And should conflict arise, he also would become the de facto leader of marshaling a militia together. Now, Thomas and Susan have the position that they do and have such an esteemed position within the town because Susan is the daughter of an older gentleman who is now hard of hearing and losing his marbles a bit by the name of Floyd Mills. And Floyd Mills was a
Dynasty.
he was well, it is of sorts. He was both a civil engineer and a bit of a prepper and survivalist, and he played an enormous role in keeping Dixon functioning when everything went to hell. He just sort of de facto filled that void. And so now Floyd at this point is too old. He really doesn't participate in town life, but he's kind of revered as their sort of, I won't say founder of the town, because the town predates all of this, but he's sort of the guy that is the reason the town survived. And so he has this revered place in public lore. Other people of interest that you have encountered around the town, you have had an encounter with a man who you don't know how much of this is act versus how much of this is crazy. Bless you, excuse you, or whatever I'm not sure what that was. But he is a guy who goes by the name of President Wilson.
Oh, wow.
And President Wilson is a suspender-wearing man who has a lot of big ideas about reforming the great country of America and all these ideas he's got. And you have no idea how much of this is crazy versus how much of this is what the man genuinely believes. Now, he does also manage to do some work, particularly with carpentry. So you know he's at least functioning crazy.
Right.
And President Wilson has taken up residence in the childhood home of what may be the most famous resident of Dixon, Illinois, which is Ronald Reagan.
Oh, wow. Oh, did they have the Reagan Library here, or is that somewhere else?
I don't think
in
it's here.
California, maybe?
Yeah, I'm not sure where it is, but Ronald Reagan's childhood home is here, and that's where President Wilson now lives.
Yes. I refer to him as Resident Wilson every chance I get.
Wilson. You are also aware of there is a not Emily Young, but teenager-ish, 17-ish girl by the name of Ellen Kent, who's a scout and a trapper. She's very good on her own, very tough cookie. She's not half so sassy as Emily was. She's much more adult in her thinking. And she has been a good source of information for you guys, especially as you started putting out the feelers for salvage and things like that and what you can do. And by the way, the Mills have agreed that if you guys get the stuff, they will help you fence it to traders that are moving along the river or to other settlements or farmsteads that are nearby. You are also aware of a man who people call Father Turtledove. Some people also just...
this town, man.
Some people...
We gotta get out.
No, this place is great.
Some people simply call him the Whaler. And the reason...
like a Burger King fish sandwich?
And they call him the Whaler with W-A-I-L-E-R, not Whaler. Not Whaler as in Moby Dick.
I don't know if this is better or...
because of the fact...
I have to erase and change my notes.
Because of the fact that there is a cemetery on the southern side of town, southern as divided by the river, a large cemetery called the Oakwood Cemetery, and he lurks amongst the graves there, and is basically does these impromptu sermons that have it's kind
I
of
filter all the water I drink.
it's kind of in the same vein as President Wilson, but except you think this guy, he is either very, very religiously zealous and very fervent, or he's not entirely right in the head. This is another one where it's a little hard.
Well, why not both?
Yeah, and it could be a little bit of both. You are not sure how to interpret a lot of what this guy does. However, he is revered throughout the town as a very pious man. He is he's not hypocritical. People that have encountered him up close and personal have found him to be an oddity, but nonetheless very compassionate, very caring. He sometimes emerges from the cemetery to pray over people and to actually offer help to individuals. And as a result, people around the town generally take care of him. So they provide him with things like food or clothing or firewood. And he's something of a hermit, but not exactly. So this is the town that you guys are set up in. And it's a rural-ish town, but it is suburban in setup. And the population here, when you've asked the Mills, they have not done an exact census. And there's also been people that have been coming and going ever since the feud they had with Sterling and Rock Falls. But they estimate that the population of the town is probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 750 to 1,000 people. So...
Is Sterling another Archer reference?
No, it's a real place.
Yeah.
No.
I've actually been.
Rock Falls and Sterling is absolutely a real place.
I'm disappointed. Because we had an Archer reference in the first game.
So
that was not intended.
No. This is Duchess. No,
and then Sterling is.
Sterling is absolutely a real place. So far, apart from people, I have not made up anything. All of this is. There really is an Oakwood Cemetery. Ronald Reagan's childhood home really is there.
These crazy people are really there.
Yes, they are 100% there. You do know that this town, it is generally accepted truth that you don't travel too far east of here, especially outside of winter, because the individuals that reside in and around Chicago are, once again, they tend to be violent.
Are they like ists, or are they just
certainly some of them head that direction. Okay. There are a few groups, in fact, that you would probably outright call ists. There are some of them that aren't so bad. They're not good, but they're not that bad. And there are some that are actually fairly reasonable, but they are caught up in constant struggle. And because of the fact that Chicago itself doesn't provide a whole lot of food, they will tend to winter there, but they start either foraging, trading, or violently raiding outside of Chicago during the warmer months. So it's generally accepted wisdom. You don't travel too far east unless you are prepared for that kind of trouble. All right. Now, they are not as large organized as the Carver clan is, and they're as likely to be fighting each other as fighting you. So that is the one thing that you have going for you, and is also why, while Dixon has to always be sort of prepared, they don't have the same sort of paranoid constant footing that like Cape Girardeau did, or that St. Louis did, because they had an organized existential threat right outside of their territory. That's really not the case here. To the south of here, you know that there's foothills, woods, farmland, some of which is still used, some of which has gone abandoned and just gotten grown over. The same thing is true to the northwest of here. But going northwest of here starts to get closer to Sterling and Rock Falls. And given the fact that you have now by default become associated with Dixon, I mean, it's not to say they're going to murder you on sight, but
you're welcome to try.
Yeah, you don't know how welcome you're going to be there. So let's just get some loose ideas here. What kinds of things have you guys individually been doing during this time? I don't need 30-minute stories here, but just a sentence or two. What have you been doing for the past? You guys, if I remember right, you guys landed in spring. And so we're going to say that you guys waited until like late summer, early fall to start venturing out again. You still have that habitat and that vehicle hidden away. We'll just say it's off to the south in the woods somewhere.
There is.
It's plot hidden,
Right,
so
sure.
I'm not going to have you guys.
Well, we hit the alarm. Doo-doo.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Exactly. So until you guys start venturing out, I'm not going to have it be an asset.
We've got
in the
low
fight.
jack on it. So, every single last person in this town hates Gil. I mean, hates him. Just does not like him.
Okay.
Except Floyd.
Old Man Floyd?
Old Man Floyd.
Okay.
And Gil plays a game of chess with Floyd almost every day.
Okay.
And that's fine.
Boone has been tinkering with things, finding things around town that are broke, trying to make himself useful.
Gil has not been doing that.
Get familiar with get familiar with what these people are using, and where possible, try to sell things to traders that come through. It's like, I fix this. Here you go.
Okay. You've also been picking up barter for your odd jobs. So when you do these odd jobs, you are certainly engendering the goodwill of the town, and as a result, you have been able to. People have provided you with things, so you've been able to get some clothing out of that. Anything on your equipment list had not been previously explained as, that's where you got it. So, I mean, you've been getting clothing, knives, pocket ham. Don't spend the pocket ham all in one place.
Quarter up my pocket.
The economy here is far more one of barter, unlike St. Louis. You do once in a while see St. Louis coins. You do also see people trading in precious metals and such. But in fact, Thomas actually keeps samples of precious metals that he uses for weight comparison to see if the metal really is what people claim it is. But you have been getting stuff in barter for your work. The town is not terribly industrialized at all, but there are some people that have limited technology in the form of, for example, harnessing the river currents or, water wheels, things like that you've been able to help with.
Okay.
Junior has been working with Susan as an assistant, just doing like scut work or just running messages, things like that, and genuinely accepted or liked by everybody except Floyd, who absolutely hates his guts.
And rightfully so.
Why does Floyd hate his guts?
Because he sees him as this effete, worthless man who has no.
This yes man.
Yeah, he's a pussy and a yes man.
Yeah.
Definitely not Floyd sort of man.
Right. So every time.
Whereas is Gil's angry and complains a lot and
Gil is an open book who's very honest.
and has violent
He's a man.
solutions to a lot of things.
Yeah.
tells it
So
like he sees it.
That's right.
Floyd sees him as a practical man.
That's right.
In fact, he would probably dislike you for spending this much time playing chess or dominoes with him, if not for the fact that you were playing it with him when he has nothing else to do. So 30 years ago, he would have judged the shit out of you.
Oh, yeah.
But now,
Now we judge people together.
exactly. That's precisely what happened.
We sit on a hill overlooking the town just from our judgment seat.
Yes. So, okay. Dr. Poe.
So I was gonna pretty much do the same type of thing, except instead of fixing things, I'm fixing people. I'm bartering my medical services for, say, food, supplies, whatever. But I'm, as we know, not great bedside manner, so I'm like the second choice doctor. Because it's either they have something serious they need to handle that maybe the other doctor can't, and they have to come to me begrudgingly, or they're on what my good side would be considered, and I just don't talk to them while they're there.
I think our real question is, what has Fat Tony been doing?
Okay. So the town's primary doctor is a very genteel, about 50. He is something of a sawbones. He's got as much of a medical education as one can get under these circumstances. He was born not long before just a little bit before the nukes went off.
Yeah.
So his education is all very
6 weeks.
post fall of society, but he's good at what he does. He knows his frontier medicine. He knows which herbs and plants are what. He keeps his own herb garden, and
Yeah. So he's the down home small town doctor who maybe doesn't have the expertise for something very serious and throws herbs at it. I would know how to treat it or take care of it, but I'm not pleasant to deal with at all.
Also, Dan, Gil, about 2 weeks ago, Gil was involved in a high-stakes card game with money he did not have.
okay.
And he won the card game, and that's how he got his motorcycle. But the people he was playing with were all townies, didn't want to lose, and then they found out that his promises of, I'll put an IOU on there, were completely empty, and he had no money. And so, kind of revenge for winning, and also not wanting to lose their nice motorcycle, they attacked him. And that's how he got his broken ribs. But he still has the motorcycle. And the doc has new patients, so.
Yeah. I was actually going to throw in there, like, maybe Gil and I are a constant at whatever local tavern there is.
Right.
And maybe that's how I make some of my money. I fix those that are already broken.
Yep. Everybody wants a piece of Gil.
One of the other things that I wanted to do, in addition to like running errands and things like that for Susan, is I do hair too.
But of course you do.
Wow.
So by appointment only.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the idea that you're an assistant, but not you think you're an assistant. You're just this guy that comes around and does things for it.
Right.
And just let him do what he's doing.
Okay, Chad, you have run afoul of the local ne'er-do-wells.
Excellent.
There's 5 of them. They are certainly rough and tumble. They are the sort of people that Susan has been looking for an excuse to do something about, but has never had one. Because there's a lot of things that strongly imply they've been involved, and certainly they get in a lot of fights, a lot of gambling, petty theft, but it's never been anything she has been able to be like, yes, we're going to deal with this. It also doesn't help that there's 5 of them, and once again, these are not junior. They don't do hair.
Right.
So
And I don't seek them out. I'm not the law in this town.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
So the 5 of them, if you want, I'll go ahead and give you their names.
Yeah.
Dunk. You're not sure what the hell that's short for, where that name came from.
Oh, I judge the shit out of him.
Okay.
I call him Dump every time I see him.
Dunk's his girlfriend and also another gang member, Marlene. Then 3 more. Shane, Sammy, and a kind of muscular, he's a little bit short, but very muscular, bald guy that somebody, upon finding a pre-war bottle, decided he looked like, and he is now known as Mr. Clean.
So I got into a card game with these guys, and then it ended in a fight.
Okay.
But I won the card game. I have the bike. I walked away from it.
Now, did you win the card game fairly, or did you cheat?
Gil refuses to say. I mean, he was cheating in a way in that he was betting money he didn't have.
I was going to say, if you cheated, let's say I helped you. Let's say like I was like behind the other guys, like giving you signals.
Yeah.
Well, or if nothing else, while you're getting your ass kicked, he may have been the one that
Who said I
got the
my
motorcycle
ass kicked?
Yeah, I got the motorcycle out of there.
before they could like not let you have it.
I mean, you should have seen them. Actually, I'd like to roll for that. Like,
See how it went?
see how it went. Did I get my ass kicked?
All right, since there's 5 of them.
yeah.
All right, I'll give you 2d6. I'm going to do 3d6 best 2.
Okay. Well, I do have cracking heads.
Yeah, but there's 5 of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, I got a 9.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, So actually, you did pretty damn well. You
Yeah.
did lose.
Sure,
But-
and I do have some broken ribs out
Yeah,
there.
you did lose. But
Don't worry, I got some pills for that.
given the fact that there were 5 of them, you did pretty damn well.
Yeah.
And you think to an extent that maybe why they haven't come around is because of the fact that they know that if they're going to come at you, that they're really going to have to bring either A, catch you off guard, or
Right.
B, really bring an A game. That it's not going to be easy to come back at you. Doubly so when now that you're not going to their card game and their turf, where you tend to hang out is with Floyd and his daughter and his son-in-law and whatnot, who are not, they're
Right.
well up in the town hierarchy.
Yeah. You mess with them, then a lynch mob's going to come after.
Precisely. You are going to start messing with people that either are or will at least pose as local law and
Right.
such. So, okay. The only other item of note is on the south end of town is a Walmart. That Walmart has long been stripped clean. There's not a damn thing left in there, just about. And what has
And the
happened?
shelves were probably used.
Yeah, honestly, just about anything that it could be taken was taken. But what that has left is a large empty building. And while you have no idea how much of this is pipe dream versus reality, during the time that you guys have been laying low, Molly has been gathering scrap metal, and Hartz has been working in this abandoned Walmart, using it to start putting together the frame of a ship. Now, all it is right at this point is metal framework. It's
Right.
not like it's got thrusters and whatever else, but she's following that dream.
Great.
And as for Fat Tony, I think Fat Tony's probably he's probably a bit of a carouser. I think Fat Tony's probably got himself set up with a little bit of some additional side business with some of the river trade and has become something of a go-to.
Yeah.
But
Hustling.
yeah, he's hustling, but it's useful to you guys because he still considers himself, part of the crew,
Right.
and he does bring back things to you guys that are desirable, useful, and also he's brought back tip-offs like, hey, somebody's out looking tonight for one of you or something, so...
Well, he is part of us, right? We decided that last
Yeah,
time. You guys
yeah.
have your little heart to heart.
We're family.
Yeah.
We family.
He fixed his nose.
Yeah, I did fix his nose. That's true.
Any last stuff? If not, then we are ready to go. All right. Who wants to start us off?
I could be playing
All right.
chess with Floyd.
You are playing. So the house that Susan and Thomas live in is right along the riverfront, which allows Thomas to go out and to do his fishing and also allows them good central access to the town, the ability to see river traffic, so on and so forth. And there is a back porch, which is where you usually meet up with Floyd to play your games.
Right.
And there's 2 mismatched wooden chairs and then a little end table that has the game board on it. And it's one of those things where if you, on one side, it's got a chessboard / checkerboard. If you flip it over,
It's got backgammon.
it's got backgammon. There's all kinds of different game pieces if you pull it out, some of which have been lost or broken and replaced with, that the one of the white rooks is a washer now or
Right.
something. And this is what you guys tend to play from. And plus, people bring him games that they either loan him or let him keep. And so he's got dominoes and all kinds of stuff. But what he likes it out here because it's comfortable. He can sit in the shade. And on top of that, he gets to watch all the people going by along the riverfront or across the bridge. From he has a good view of certainly the river in the north side of town, even if the house is blocking the south side of town. Now, the house that you guys have taken up residence in is across the street to the south of that house. Okay, so you're just a little bit back from the riverfront. All right, so Floyd starts off the same way he always does.
Right.
He always moves the Queen's Knight out in front of the pawns first.
Yep. I don't even comment. I just start setting up my defense with my pawns, start moving my stuff out. I'm just like, oh my god, Floyd. Fuck this town.
Problem's not the town. It's a good town. Problem? Some of the people in it.
Yeah?
All right. Town. He moves another piece.
Right.
It's just buildings. It's like a jar. You can put beautiful strawberry preserves in a jar, or you can just put it behind a horse's ass and have a big old steaming horse shit packed in there. And I tell you, years ago, this town was strawberry preserves. People had to survive things that
Floyd, is that what you called your girlfriend? Strawberry preserves.
No, that was cherry pie. But now you got people like, I mean, I don't know what she even sees in him. My daughter running around with that man.
Fuck this town.
Not her husband. I mean that Nancy boy you brought in with you.
Well, you know she's safe with him, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah, I don't have to worry about my daughter's marriage breaking up over him.
As if on cue, I come walking up. Floyd?
Lost your apron?
Well, I'm bringing you your medicine, Floyd. It's time for your pills. Susan said it's time for your pills.
And look at I'm looking at Junior with a raised eyebrow, and I look at Floyd with a raised eyebrow.
It ain't brandy, so I'm expecting a back rub and a handy.
Well, let me get my gloves.
Oh boy.
You
See?
stealing gloves from me.
I just laugh. Yeah.
When we first got this town going again, there was an old policeman, Sergeant Boyd.
Mm-hmm.
And Sergeant Boyd once said to me,
What did he say, Floyd?
he said,
Yeah.
I expect a back rub and a handy. And you know what happened? You know what happened?
I think I do.
I punched Sergeant Boyd so hard, I put his ass on the ground, and I knocked out this tooth right here, which now way back, oh, that got me put in jail. Good thing there ain't no jail to put me in.
That's true.
But see, he comes out here, and I can say that to him. I'm an old-ass man, and he can't stand up to me.
Junior, you ever stood up for yourself
Well, sure.
at any point in your life?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Name
Come on, you pussy. Tell me about one time.
one time.
Just one
Tell
time.
us.
I told Fat Tony to go screw himself one time.
You told Fat Tony to go screw himself. What happened?
Can I see Fat Tony? Like, 'cause you said we can see the river. Is he like down there?
Yeah, Fat Tony. He's right now. He's talking to a raft captain. So we'll put captain in very loose quotes. But he's leaning in a bit close, and they're kind of talking and gesturing, and you're not sure what's going on. But
I stand up and in my loudest, boomingest voice, I yell, "Yo, Fat Tony! Junior wants you to fuck yourself!"
he like stops, and you can see him.
I'm pointing.
You can see him gesture to the guy he's talking to from the raft. It's kind of like, wait a minute, sort of hand gesture. And he comes marching straight up the riverbank.
Here you go, Junior.
Like him has already gotten you into it.
I just smiled.
Hey, What the fuck?
Hey, Tony, go fuck yourself, eh?
You gonna make fun of me like that? You gonna make fun of me? Tell me to fuck myself, and then you gonna make fun of me?
I was telling Floyd about the time I told you to fuck yourself.
Yeah, and what happened? You got fucked in the ass.
No, that was loving. Remember, your cell was across from my cell, and I told you to go fuck yourself. Remember?
Yeah, well, I'm locked in a cell.
That's not my fault.
Okay, there ain't no cell now, so you tell me to go fuck myself?
I look at Floyd. I'm like, you're right. It is like
See-
strawberry jam.
You tell me to go fuck myself?
No, I said Gil was the one that said that I said that. I didn't say that. I said it once.
Floyd, did he say that Fat Tony should go fuck himself?
Well, apparently he said it in the past. It sounds to me like a score's never been settled.
Yeah,
here.
there's some unresolved issues here.
Huh. Well, Tony, if you're gonna hit me, hit me.
All I see right now is I'm on my porch and I want to play chess, and instead I got a fairy and a dago that won't shut up.
I'm just here to give you your pills, and
No.
then I'll go away.
Now, Floyd, that's politically incorrect. It's a modern society. We're not allowed to say those things anymore.
Yeah,
You're
it's more-
right. Tony, I apologize. I've got a fairy and an Italian on my lawn.
I'll accept that. I know you're just joking. I know you're just all piss and vinegar, aren't you? Isn't that what they call you? Piss and vinegar. And I like tap the top of his head. Oh, piss and vinegar.
He stands up, not very quickly, but he pushes the chair back, and on arthritic knees, he raises up, and he starts unbuttoning the cuffs of his shirt and
Junior, it might be time to run away.
rolling up his sleeves.
Oh, he's just fooling.
You know where Dr. Poe is? Because you're going to meet him here in a minute.
Give me what's your what are your skills?
My skills?
Yeah.
Little do you know, Junior is a combat monster.
No, he's not. As a matter of fact, I struggle in pain tolerance.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
He just grabs his ear and just
What's
twists
your
it.
incompetence?
My incompetence is the ladies.
Okay, that's not the issue here.
Nope. Yeah, so I'm not looking forward to getting hit by this old man, but I'm banking on the fact that he won't actually do it because he might hurt himself.
Okay, so this is just going to catch you straight then.
Yep.
One with the results.
Oh, piss and vinegar.
Wow. Okay. This is going to get interesting. Okay. No, you're somewhat lucky 'cause, yeah, he's not all that strong.
Anymore.
No. Okay. I'm not going to make you actually take the wound because it's just a sucker punch. But he comes up with his right hand and he punches you across the jaw. You can taste blood in your mouth. He didn't lay you out. He didn't knock out any teeth. But
What's an 80-year-old man? A punch?
yeah, he caused you. You think it's more in the hit. He caused you to kind of bite your own cheek, and it kind of hurts. There's a little bit of blood in there now, and
All right, I immediately drop into the fetal position and go, oh,
Oh, my God.
oh. Then I get up and I just get up on my hands and knees and look up and I go,
if I take this medicine, will you go away?
Floyd, when was the last time you hit somebody?
About 15 seconds ago.
Before that.
I
And
don't know.
I come drooling blood onto the patio. I go, have you felt so alive in the last so many years? Because you're looking great. You're looking fantastic.
I feel alive every day of my life.
Well, I'm glad I could help you.
Susie, come get your boy off my porch.
Oh, fuck this town.
Susan comes out, middle-aged woman, dressed very functionally. She's wearing kind of a heavy coat. It's not probably quite cold enough yet in the year for that, but she's just the sort of person that gets cold easily.
Or she's carrying a shotgun.
Or that is also possible. She may have a gun under there. And she steps out and says, Junior,
Fingering the blood out of my mouth.
hey, what?
Gil is sitting there studying the chessboard intently, like he didn't have any involvement in any of this.
Dad,
No, don't get mad. Don't get mad at him. Don't get mad at him. It was my fault. I touched him. And you told me not to touch him, and I touched him. But he's just so damn cute.
he starts standing back up again. How many times are we going to have to do this? Dad, sit down. Stop this. This is ridiculous. Junior,
Man.
give me his medication.
All right, I fish it out of my pocket and hand it
Okay.
over.
She says, Dad, Dr. Fisher said you need to take these. If you take this, then you can go back to your game. But I'm not leaving until you take this. He looks out alongside.
What is it?
It's a pill, but in the older sense of the word.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Like a pressed pill?
yes, exactly. It's like a pressed pill, probably an herbal concoction. You don't know its exact makeup. He's never seemed to care. So you have no idea. But yeah, it's a pill that once again is more of the class. It's not like a gel cap or something.
It's not 75-year-old aspirin.
No, and so, well, I mean, I guess it could sort of be. I mean, there could be some kind of willow extract in there or something, but he begrudgingly takes it from her and swallows it, and then just waves you, Junior, off.
All right, I slink back. That was a pretty good hit there, Floyd. I think one of my teeth is loose.
Susan gives her dad a kiss on the cheek. She's like, "Behave yourself," and she takes you by the arm and leads you back into the house.
And then I look and I go, "Oh, girl, we need to do something about that hair."
She looks at you absolutely dumbfounded. And is like, what did you have in mind?
Well, let's start with an updo. It'll take 10 years off. I swear.
I need.
Sit down, Floyd.
Okay, I still need to look like I'm tough enough to run a town.
Well, sure, you can still look tough. You don't have to look. You don't have to be a battle axe.
No, it says you can't be tough and look good.
is with the ladies.
Wow. Okay then. Fine. You know what? Let's. I tell you what. Why don't we go over to your guy's house and we'll do it there?
Yeah, that sounds great.
That'll get you away from my dad.
Sure. I think he's warming up to me. Did you see?
I saw.
He didn't threaten to kill me. He just punched me.
Because
I think I'm making a breakthrough.
I really don't. I don't think you are.
Floyd, this is the best morning since I got Boone to chase Junior with a hatchet.
Are you kidding me? This is the worst morning of my life. Well, outside of punching some asshole.
That was good. Is Fat Tony still there?
Yeah, Fat Tony, he's still there. He's got his hands out to the side like he's
What?
mid gesture.
Right.
But he can't complete that idea.
Tony, are you gonna like bring us some cannolis or what?
Bring you a fucking cannoli.
I got him to say it.
Wait till you see what I fill him with.
Yeah, not much.
Yeah, by which I mean I'm going to take my penis. I'm going to put it in there.
Tiny micro penis. Yes, wrapped in pastry. It's not a pleasant sight, Tony.
Oh, now we have a problem.
Tony, we've always had a problem.
I
That's
mean-
why we get along so well. We're honest with each other. You've got a small dick. I'm bigger than you. Everything's great.
Son, I got an enormous dick. That enormous dick is part of how I piss enough people off to land myself in prison.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they call me Fat Tony.
I thought it was because you ate a baby.
I ate your mom's baby Hatch.
Possibly.
Now, whenever you get done being an asshole,
Oh.
this type of asshole, I ain't got that long. I got something you might want to hear about. But finish your chess game, then come find me.
Is it just for me or
Yeah, we can.
everybody?
It's for everybody.
Hmm.
We can talk to the crew. I tell you what, how long this game think you it's going to take? Floyd goes, 2 minutes.
He's right. Junior,
Yeah.
go grab Boone and Poe. Meet down at Fat Tony's fuck dock or whatever the hell he calls it. In like 20 minutes. How about that?
All right.
Look, I did something today. I delegated.
All right. You delegate.
Mm-hmm.
I swear. He turns around and see he goes back down river toward the people he was talking to.
Floyd,
He's walking here. Can you believe these fuckers?
this guy. Floyd, fuck this town.
Fuck the people in it.
Eh.
You know, this town's kind of like a jar.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about your jar, Floyd.
You know, once upon a time,
Mm-hmm.
there was a police sergeant,
Yes.
Sergeant Boyd.
Mm-hmm.
He was a rough and tumble son of a bitch.
Was he?
Oh, yeah.
Did he like the lads?
No.
Oh.
Now, one day, I mouthed off to him, and he mouthed off to me, and you know what happened?
Punched his lights out.
I punched his lights out. That's damn right
You're
what I did.
that kind of guy.
And he was that kind of guy, too. Because you know what happened when he hit down? He had blood, spit out a tooth, and he stood back up, and it's a good thing it was after the war, so there's no jail to put me in.
Right.
I thought for sure he was going to shoot me or I don't know what. But you know what he did?
What did he do?
He looked at me and he laughed about it. Because that kind of thing between us men wasn't shit.
Yep.
Taking that kind of ass whooping was no harder than eating that sweet strawberry jam.
Junior, you taking notes on this, or you getting Boone and Poe?
All right. I say, Susie, I'm sorry. I guess I got work to do. Is that okay? We can do your hair later.
That's fine. I don't
Or I
even
can,
know
just,
what
I can just tell them to fuck off. And
No,
we can just
no.
spend the whole day spotting.
No. No, don't do that because I still have some things I need you to deliver later today. And look, we can wait as long as you want. I don't honestly even know what an updo is.
Oh, okay.
So do what you need to do. We can pick this up later.
All right. Okay, then.
Chad, give me just a flat 2d6 plus your smarts. Let's see who wins the chess game.
6, 7, 8, 9, 14.
So I also got a 9. He barely, like it's one of those where there's barely any pieces left,
Right.
but he does win the game. So this game,
Yes.
he doesn't win them all, but he won this one. You think part of it is you were not able to predict him as easily because of the fact that he's so beside himself right now that
Yeah.
he wasn't. There
The
was
adrenaline actually gave him some lucidity. And,
well, that or he just made some moves that were serendipitous. They were not really good moves or what he intended to do, but they just kind of worked in his favor. So,
and Gil is not necessarily good at chess. He just doesn't want to do work.
well, I mean, you can't have been playing this long and not be getting somewhat
Yeah.
good at it.
That's true.
Boone and Dr. Poe, where are you guys at?
I am in the living room with an engine. The engine doesn't work yet, but that's my current
So
project.
in the living room of the house.
Yeah, of the house that we're staying in, I've got a big engine taking up like a big, the center of the living room, and I'm working on that.
Molly has a stack of blank papers in front of her, and she has an ink pen and is doodling around different concepts and diagrams on it. Looks like avionics and such. And she looks up and she's like, do you know what carbon monoxide poisoning is?
Scrubbles will take care of that.
Okay, do you know what an air scrubber is?
Yeah.
Do you see one around here?
No. I haven't turned it on yet.
No, but how are you going to test it? What does that thing weigh?
800 pounds.
I don't know. How did you get it in here?
Heart helped.
Okay, how did you really get it in here?
Heart helped. Heart carried.
I'm going to have to ask him about that when I see him next and find out if...
You didn't tell him not to help me?
Yeah, somehow I'm picturing he was actually welding at the time, and you probably had, like, horses in here dragging this thing. If I move enough furniture, am I going to find hoof prints?
What am I going to do with the horse?
Move an engine. She goes back to doodling what she's working on.
Where are you going to go when you fix that thing?
Back to the moon, I guess. I don't know.
But you didn't want to be up there.
No, but I never earned enough. Okay, one, I never earned enough to actually get the visa to get into Jacksonville or even into the Caribbean, and I still have all the credit that I was earning. I just have to finish earning that credit. And on top of that, even if I had all of it, down here I have no access to it, nor do I have any access to an embassy for Jacksonville to actually go apply for that visa.
What makes you think you still got all that credit? They probably think you're dead.
Yeah, I kind of come and go a lot, and people rarely know where I am. So
For a year?
Well, if I have to, then I will start over from scratch. But I don't
You're already down here.
Yay!
Find something Jacksonville wants here. Let you.
Yeah, and do what with it?
I don't know. You're one to get in Jacksonville. Doesn't seem like going to the moon's the best way to do it when you're closer here.
Well, then I can build this ship, and then I can personally fly it down to Jacksonville.
Now that's a plan.
No, it's not.
I didn't say it was a good plan.
Okay, I don't know how much they told you on that station. They have an air defense system. You're coming toward them, and they don't want you there.
Oh, I'm not going towards them.
No, I can't imagine they would probably let you in at all. And if fix your engine. But I swear, if you start that thing, I'm stopping it permanently.
If you need help on your machine.
I need parts. The concepts are here. I think it's simple. There's a couple things I've been able to salvage from what was left of the Cygnus and what was left of the pods. I think once we get that telemetry data worked out, I think I might be able to even find some other crashed things to pick through. The concepts are here. This is all buildable with salvage. I can probably get.
Make me a list of what you need.
Well, that list is going to be.
It's going to be a huge list. Not like I'm going to get it for you over a weekend or something. But if I find things, I'll bring them back.
All right. No, fine. Fine. That's fair.
You keep things interesting around here. I want to help.
I keep things interesting, says the man with an engine in the house. There's a garage. You know what a garage was used for?
Yeah, but I never had a garage.
Actually, I was going to say I'm in the garage. I've been waiting this whole time to say, actually, I'm in the garage he should be in.
Dr. Poe, what are you doing in the garage?
I needed a space for my patients.
Okay. In that
You
case,
put him up on the lift. That's...
yeah. In that case, we went, Poe's in the garage. He's got patience.
I have
So
like...
he's seeing patients in the garage, and you're working on engines in the living room.
Yeah.
Wow. No wonder you guys were all in jail. You're just criminally incompetent.
No, I'm very territorial. Stubborn.
Yeah, I come walking in. Oh, hey, Boone, you got it running yet?
Not
No.
yet.
Let's kick it on. Let's see this bad boy in action.
I will break you in half.
Are you bleeding?
Oh yeah, yeah. Floyd punched me in the face. Didn't hurt that much.
Well, I starts laughing at you.
How come I'm
got
the only one that
beat
doesn't
by-
find that funny?
You got beat by an 80-year-old man?
Well, yeah. He's a hard ass.
No, he's not. He's 80. He was a hard ass, I don't know,
He suckered me.
half a century ago?
I don't know.
I do know.
You don't lose that shit.
Yeah, you do. It's called getting old, and it's followed by dying.
Are those avionics?
No, it eventually. It's concepts.
What'd you do to get punched, and how is it Gil's fault?
I don't remember. I do remember trying to give Floyd his pill, but then it gets kind of fuzzy after that. I remember waking up on the floor.
And Gil was playing chess with him, I'm betting.
Well, that's all he ever does. Oh, that reminds me. We've got something with Fat Tony. Gil set it up. 20 minutes or so. Is Doc in his space?
Yeah, it's in the garage.
All right, maybe you can look at my cheek.
Are you currently seeing someone, Doctor? Or
Yeah, I've got somebody on a makeshift table, and I've got 2 people waiting.
Okay, so all right, you've got people that you got Dr. Fisher's overflow. Well, or you might have some hard luck cases. You have someone in there who, actually, I guess by this point in history, TB could make a comeback. So
A lot of things can make it come back.
yeah, so you got a guy who you think probably has some stage of tuberculosis. There might be a cure in your grab bag.
All right. Yeah, I don't know what any of these pills do. That's true.
I mean, you can make guesses because you were a doctor. Some of
Yeah.
them you've seen before.
And the other doctor might actually have that pill book. I forget what it's called.
PDR, physician's best reference.
Yeah.
Or whatever the future equivalent of it is. So, yeah, it's possible that you've. So I will at least give you a roll. Now it will be a high difficulty roll,
Right.
but I will at least give you a roll against your because. So yeah, give me a roll. Go ahead and do surgeons. So you can use 3 dice, pick the best 2, add smarts to it, but your difficulty on this is going to be an 18.
Okay.
So
That was not good.
okay, so you have a
It all
5.
looks like candy. It all tastes like
Your
candy.
smarts is okay.
Oh, that's a cashew.
All right. You definitely did not identify the correct pill. Now, do me a favor, just roll 2d6. The lower you roll, the worse this is. The higher, the better. 5. Okay. All right. You give.
So I'm not. So it's not even. Let's say it's not even like. I don't really know what it is. I don't really care. I'm just.
You just
Is
whatever.
randomly grab 'em?
Here, take this one. Let's see.
okay.
Let's say I'm still in the process of testing out which one's what.
Okay. So the guy that you give it to takes it. And he's like, "Thank you, doctor. Thank you. I never even had this kind of hope until you came." And
He was like,
yes,
yeah.
he's coughing out blood for a different reason.
Got a mask on.
And he gets up and hobbles his way out the door, and you don't hear him make it very far down the street before he's like, "Oh no!"
That's the evil leaving your body.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Damn it, I wish Junior was here to clean that up.
So, fast-acting laxative, and he is just...
The fastest working laxative. Space laxatives.
Splaxatives.
Laxatives.
When you gotta go before the suction stops.
I gotta get it out of here. Barf. Ooh, Doc. Something died in here.
Ah, Junior, great. I'm glad you're here. I'm going to need you to maybe wipe that up for me. I got patience.
Look out in the street.
Yeah, I don't want the street to look like shit. That's a biohazard.
Well, can I have a mask or something?
I only have so many masks. I have a box of masks.
5,000 masks.
I notice he's got blood. Hey, hello, Gil do that to you?
No.
Well, the other patients start laughing.
No.
No, that's too bad.
Poor Junior.
Floyd punched me.
Oh, man, I'm going to ask Gil about that later.
He's got really knobby knuckles. They're
Yeah, well.
amazingly knobby.
Well, your soft face, probably. So,
There's an old woman who's the next patient up, and she's like, Floyd punched you?
Yeah.
Wow, you're a bitch.
Oh,
When
Millie.
I was young, I was something to look at, and that old Floyd, he came on to me,
Really?
and he started getting a bit frisky, and I slapped him straight down.
Really?
Yeah, and that was when he was a lot younger.
Wow. So, did they have dance cards back then? Was this during the war?
Oh, this was before the war.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah,
You slapped him, huh?
down.
Yeah. Well, he wouldn't hit a woman, though.
Eh,
He apparently would.
That's unfortunate. Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
yeah, come here, Junior, and I'll shove like a homemade like cotton ball. That's my
Homemade cotton ball.
Homemade cotton in northern Illinois. What cotton?
It's like frayed. It's like frayed cloth.
It's a wool ball.
oh,
It's not very useful.
Well-
I just wanted to see if you'd keep it in your mouth.
And I do because you put it in there. Because I assume that it's supposed to be.
We'll say it's sterile. Like it's been boiled or something. Like it's,
Okay, that's fine. Well, and alcohol's not hard to come by.
You'll be fine.
Well,
You want something for the pain?
yeah. No, Gil told me I can't take any of your pills.
that's right.
Well, okay, 9 plus what's
It's 18.
okay. You actually are able to identify some pain pills. Are you going to give him a pain pill?
Not now.
So,
Like, all right, more for me.
Is that a Darva set? I didn't think they made those anymore.
so you just like pop a wad it or something, and
All right, well, I'll just take it.
You
okay,
don't want it.
you're feeling good.
So anyway,
The world makes sense again.
Somehow everything feels okay.
Gil set up a job for us. So when you're done with your patients, you'll be done in the next 20 minutes or so?
Yeah, we're close. Everybody get out. Get out. Got somewhere to go.
The old woman stands up. She says, "I will slap you down."
I would love to see that.
Oh, Millie.
What's wrong with her? Do I know? Has she been here before? Is it?
STDs.
like riddled with them.
Oh, loose Millie.
Good Lord. Oh man.
It's
I like her attitude, so I'm like,
flu-like symptoms, sort of thing you wouldn't even worry about if not for her age.
okay, well, I think you'll be okay. You sore throat, anything? Fever?
Hacking up a bit,
Yeah,
feeling tight in the neck.
I'll give her. I'll tell her to go back to doctor whatever and get like some herb or something. Like I don't have any of that here.
Okay.
So I was like, just make tea with it. Don't take it like a pill like that idiot tells you. Like make teas.
Make sure you get 3 marijuanas from him.
Yeah, exactly 3.
3 marijuanas. That's a unit of measure.
3 marijuanas. 1 day.
Meanwhile, Wayne's working on an engine that weighs roughly 2,500 marijuanas.
You can have an engine lift. There's engine lifts there. Non-motorized.
Yeah, I know, but there's like a step or two up and then into the house. I mean, this certainly
Well,
doesn't.
maybe he brought it in through a window. Or the back. Or maybe it was there. Maybe they built the house around.
Oh, there's a backstory. Hearts did it, but she just doesn't know it yet.
So you shoo out your patients. And,
Yeah, what was the other person? What they have?
Gonorrhea.
Yeah, let's see what they had before I shoot. I want it to
Everybody's
be
got
something
STD.
bad.
They just come to you for STDs.
No, I want it to be something bad.
They are literally in labor.
Just push that back in. He needs to cook a couple more.
Give me about a few more hours. I'll be back.
fractured forearm. Now, normally not a bad injury,
Yeah.
but in a high labor survivalist society, big deal.
Big deal. I don't want to help this person. Let's take too much time. Tell him if I just favorite. Just favor your arm. Don't lift anything.
Favor your arm.
Favor your arm.
Take a couple more marijuanas.
You'll be all right.
You'll be all right in 3 to 4 marijuanas.
Come back to see me tomorrow. I'm assuming it's like blue. And
Swollen, and and he's clearly in pain.
yeah, just come to see me tomorrow. And I just took pain medicine.
Right in front. I'm entirely too fucked up to deal with you right now. So just,
I gotta get loose before I look at that arm. Man, I can't feel anything. How's that arm doing?
I don't trust myself right now.
All right, so
Nah, that doesn't feel like it hurts. What are you talking about?
all right, so you guys gather in the living room. There's some old furniture in there that you guys are sitting on.
Around the engine.
Yeah, around the engine while Molly sits there with a lap board and is doodling away on various ship designs and such. And you guys aren't there terribly long before Fat Tony comes in.
We were supposed to meet at his dock. But you know what? We make that bitch come to us.
No, actually, he said he was going to meet you guys at the house. So, I mean, you can go down to the dock if you want to intercept him.
No.
Okay.
We make
Hey,
him
it's
come to us.
Tony.
So,
Hide the cookies.
That's a game we used to play.
So, Fat Tony comes in with a young black woman, teenager. This is Ellen Kent, and the two of them come in. She's dressed. You know that Ellen prides herself on being very self-sufficient. The clothes that she has are made from skins of things that she's either hunted or trapped. The gear that she uses, even the bow that she has, these are all things that she has made herself. She only trades for things that she cannot get out there, and typically only returns to town either to do trades or when things out there are starting to get dangerous for some reason. Harsh winter, raiders passing through, things like that. Rad bears. And so he's got her in tow. And Fat Tony, he walks in, he kind of does a quick head count and says, "All right, I see all you guys managed to get yourselves together."
What you got, Tony?
It's a good thing that there aren't 6 of us.
Why?
Because he only has 5 fingers.
Because there's a lady present, I will not respond.
I say, Ellen, I love you, girl. I love you. You got to do something about that hair. You got to do something about that
She
hair.
is, if looks could kill,
I love you, girl, but you got to do something.
You'd be dead.
I've got to do something about my hair.
Yeah.
I'm sitting next to Junior on the couch, and I actually scoot 2 inches away from him.
Come on now. I'm going to make you my project.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna make you my project.
Boy, she could have hurt you.
There are only two kinds of men that I interact with.
Mhm.
Those that look at me and they see perfection, and those that are wrong.
I like it. I like it.
You may not like it because I'm starting to think that you're not the first type.
Oh, no. I am. I'm smitten. I am totally smitten.
I am not your project.
Oh. Okay.
You don't sound convinced.
We'll see.
So Fat Tony says, Ellen, I apologize for them. Could you please explain what you told me? So I know you guys are looking for stuff. Salvage. Type of things that I don't have a huge amount of use for. So I stumbled across something. Been lost maybe for a pretty long time. And
Is it the Ark of the Covenant?
no, I can't imagine it is.
Okay,
But
but keep an eye out.
I'll do that. And I traded a few things with Tony for some information on this. I can put you to a spot on a map. Southwest of here, there's a rig. I don't know what you guys saw up on that station, but in the years before the war, I've heard stories that they apparently were running out of things. I mean, all the garbage we're picking up now that they left behind, felt they were running out of it. And so they put together these giant rigs that had all kinds of machinery and supposedly moved somehow. And they would bring them into an area where they'd find resources or garbage or I don't know. They'd put something into it and it would process it off. And then they would get stuff out of it that they would reuse. And
Do I know what the hell she's talking about?
Are you talking about a recycler?
okay, what is your pre-war knowledge of such things?
I would imagine that I would have at least high school level education of history. I mean,
Yes, what she is describing, you
I would probably know what that is, actually.
yeah, you guys, I mean, it's not like these were classified. I mean, so yes, you would know what she's talking about. So prior to the war, there were several things that were going on in an attempt to further stretch resources. Okay, so some of that was violent, some of it was non-violent. The introduction of genetic constructs use living things with renewable resources to replace machines, for example. Some of them involve things like going to more green sources of power, solar, wind, whatever. But one of the things that was being done was there were private corporations with government backing that were putting together these large mobile machines that they were kind of like mobile factories. I don't know.
Like refining.
Yes, and they were like refined combinations of refineries and recycling things, where basically what they would do is they bring them into an area. And that area could be anything. It could be ruins. It could be a landfill. They just bring it into some place that's rich in resources that nobody was using. And they would process all of that waste off down into its components, and then would attempt to do something or find some use for those components. I'm actually basing these off of, now, I'm not aware of any rigs like this, but actually this technology does, like precursor technologies already exist today. There are machines that do this, where basically it takes stuff in, sorts it out, and then divides it into its constituent parts and whatnot, and gives you raw resources that you can try and do something with. So you know what she's describing. Now, these things, because of the amount of machinery they themselves incorporated, are either where no one can get to them or have already been pretty well picked over. Okay, so do you guys follow what I'm...
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. I think there was one that was supposed to be headed to a landfill that's south of here in a town called Amboy. But I don't think it got there because it looks like it somehow... I don't know. I don't know what happened to it. But it's out in the woods southwest of here. It's
In the middle of the woods?
Yeah, it's kind of, parts of it have collapsed.
Like not on a road.
Not on a road. Parts of it have collapsed. It's kind of fallen down. And I wouldn't have even noticed it because of the amount of trees and growth that's on it, except I just happened to be picking through the growth and uncovered a bit of metal and started to realize it was a lot bigger than I thought. And then I started seeing the logos on it. So I know what's down there.
I look at Boone and Jr., it's like, I don't even know what this is. Is this something that what would we even do with this?
Parts.
Parts of what? I mean, it's been in the woods for 75 years. Everything's all rusted out.
What if we got it working again?
Or if it's made of materials that maybe don't rust. Or even
I don't know.
It could also have some stores of the things that it had already processed.
Right.
Yeah.
Tony, what's in this for you?
I'm part of the business. Huh?
I was gonna say he's pretty much part of
Because I'm
anything we'd be interested in. I think
Yeah.
he would be.
I'm part of this business. You guys find it, I find it with you. We take it, we strip it, we sell the stuff. I get my cut just like you guys do.
Well, what's the plan? Is it? I mean,
Need to see it first.
Yeah, we need to check it out.
See what kind of shape it's in. Then we either take it apart.
how far away is it?
How dangerous is it to get to this?
Well, let me answer those two questions separately. How far away it is? It's about 10 miles to the southwest.
Oh, shit, that's nothing.
10
It's a
miles.
4-hour
Nobody's
walk.
ever seen this before.
Yeah.
There must be something there.
It might be like not off the road. I mean, it might be in the middle of effing nowhere.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's no reason for anyone to go there.
Based on the map I'm looking at, the spot I have picked out, it is like exactly that. It
Yeah.
is way the hell off the beaten path.
These pardon me. I'm wondering if there's any records of these things. I mean, a company runs this, or a company used to run these things. So maybe we could. Shit, wouldn't be in town. Yeah.
What was the
No,
logo?
We don't have a.
Yeah, there's not like a national database.
She said she saw a logo.
The logo is for a company called Tillard Recycling. Tillard.
There's a 75-year-old phone book in here.
Well, you actually wouldn't have to dig for one, because Ellen tells you, I've seen the Tillard sign,
Where's it at?
Chicago. Getting their records is not going to be a...
Thing we can do.
I can tell you where it is, but that's as far as I go with it.
I think we gotta take a look at this thing.
I got nothing better to do.
We decide what we're gonna do once we see it.
Okay. Yeah. That sounds like a great idea. This could be a gold mine.
I doubt it.
Well, not like a literal gold mine. I'm just saying it could be some really good stuff.
If it's still
Pretty much
useful, I mean, if it's still active, then I would say it's incredibly useful.
Right.
I think it's going to be a rusted out piece of junk with animals living in it.
Probably.
Then,
Bet we can get some good parts from it, though.
then Ellen will have some more pants. What? She wears skins. She wears animal skins. We're literally looking at her wearing animal skins.
Oh yeah.
So
maybe
that's
maybe
the
you
right
look at her
side.
too much.
God damn it, Junior.
Are you coming with us, Ellen?
I can show you where it is.
Well, yeah.
All right, I'll lead you there.
That's probably the most efficient way to do it. Did
Yeah.
she get a cut? A finder's fee?
You are the master of negotiation.
I think Tony already paid her. for
Tony's
the
already
information.
paid me. I'm not.
Tony, are you coming along or are you overseeing things here?
No, I'm coming with you. I want to see this thing.
All right. It's probably a good idea that I get out of town for a few days anyway.
That's only fair. You know, if I want the cut, I
What
do
did
the
you do
work.
now?
Oh, I didn't do anything.
Heard the story about the little guy getting hit. That's pretty good.
Oh, man.
Wish I could have been
They
there.
walked right into it. That's great. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Else says, you seriously got punched by...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you heard the story, huh? It's a
Yeah.
doozy.
You want to see
Okay.
the inside of my cheek?
No, that's... Thank you, no.
I totally bit into it.
I don't want to see the inside of your anything.
You say that now.
She looks to
I need a squirt bottle.
she looks to Boone and she's he's coming with us.
Like I said, sure you want to come with us?
I gotta look for. Do you think we're gonna leave him here? Do you think he'd be alive when we get back if we left him?
Yeah,
He
because
got punched by Floyd.
well, punched and dead are two very different ways of being. I think he'll be alive because of the fact that Susan likes him. I mean, not likes him, but likes him. So,
Well, he's coming with us because in a couple days I'm going to need a haircut. I mean, that's all there is to it.
Oh, Gil, you will not. Maybe a beard trim.
No, nobody touches my beard. It's the source of my power.
Source of my
Mom says, okay.
I never had a beard on the station. They're great.
We've all grown beards but you.
Oh, yeah. Junior can't grow a beard.
Even Molly's got a big old.
Hey, Molly. You've been taking the doc's pills again.
Hearts has a beard.
But his is metal.
Yeah, his is made of
No,
like
it's-
frayed wax.
It's a big old ZZ Top beard. Hearts looks Mennonite. So
You've got like a little mustache, like a little asshole mustache.
A little asshole mustache.
You know exactly what I mean. A little pencil mustache.
That's right.
got a Brodor pedo
I
stash.
got a pedo stash,
My
right?
beard's coming in real nice.
It's like
Couple more years.
It's like a 15-year-old mustache. Like a 15-year-old's like little bitty mustache.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm trying.
It's at this point, though. It's only about 9:30 or so in the morning.
Oh, shit, it's 10 miles away? Look, we can leave right now and make it.
Yeah.
We walking? How are we getting there?
We can make it there and back in the same day.
I know, if we walk, I mean,
If
that's like
nothing goes
4
wrong.
hours. Yeah. No, shit, let's take the truck out.
Really?
Yeah. We got to make sure it starts. It's not good to leave that shit lying around.
We have supplies
Talking
enough
about
for at
Boone.
least
A month?
perhaps an
Boone
overnight.
works on that truck all the time. He's
Oh, well, yeah. That,
Wait a minute, this isn't the engine from the truck, is it?
No, it's not the engine from the truck.
Oh, okay, good. It's a
That's that
replacement.
one.
Is it a replacement engine for the truck?
No.
Oh,
It's just his hobby engine.
Yeah.
Oh, hobby engine.
It's just walking around engine.
Gotcha.
Otherwise,
It's really awesome.
otherwise he's tinkering with my stuff.
Molly, without looking up her notes, says that's a biodiesel engine. What we have in the truck is a
AC induction motor.
hydrogen
Oh,
engine.
yeah.
Yeah.
If he starts that thing up in here, by the way, and you start feeling like you're tired, need to lay down and go to sleep, don't. get out of the house.
Biodiesel. Does that mean I could poop in it?
No, it doesn't.
Yes, that is exactly what it means. In fact, let me show you precisely where to poop in it.
Molly.
You put a damn engine in the... All right, I'm going to go get hearts. I recommend you guys open a window.
You see why we bring this little guy now? He's just a barrel of laughs.
Helen, she shrugs and steps back outside, smells the giant pile in the street and walks back inside.
David Jr., I thought I told you to clean that up.
I haven't had time yet.
All right.
Gil
I might have to
stand-
delegate that.
I'm feeling really generous today. All right, fine.
Gil stands up and kind of goes. He stands up and winces and then starts walking out the door.
You want something for pain?
No.
You could always refuse it.
I did refuse it.
I just
All right.
literally.
I definitely rolled something good. So
You guys simply listen.
Every time somebody.
yeah, I'll take another one. Yeah, I'll take it again. We're gonna overdose on pain pills before we get there.
Unless anyone objects, just because you need someplace to put... Where do you want the truck? In the Walmart? Do you want it...
Sure. We've
Okay.
taken over the
makes
Walmart.
sense.
I'd say the Walmart would be big enough, right?
Yeah, the automotive section.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys have parked the
The
truck.
ne'er-do-wells, they used to, party there. And I kicked them out.
Now they don't.
Now they don't.
And so...
Now it's
okay.
our place.
That's
All
where
right.
you ride your motorcycle.
It's big enough.
Yeah, it's big enough.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Right.
All right, so you guys go back there. Molly gets hearts, and I'll assume for the sake of cargo, you guys offload the settlement structure that
Sure.
was in its back.
Yeah, it's in the Walmart now.
Okay, so that's sitting there along with the framework of a ship, and you guys take it off, and it is an all-terrain vehicle. So you guys start driving. You're able to follow roads in many places, and even where the roads aren't in great shape, it's a vehicle that can handle that.
I take Blue and I put him in the cab of the truck, and he's kind of hopping around, hanging out in the cab, and I'm
Okay.
on my motorcycle.
I'm gonna have to look up what Blue Jays, like what their songs are. So.
They yell,
I know.
but they do imitate other birds.
Yeah, it just so happens that you accidentally let this one grow up around a screaming goat. So that's all it does now.
It grew up around Junior when he was in pain.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, they can. Their calls are kind of like squawks, like that.
Yeah, I can't do that right now. My throat's kind of torn up. So, all right. So, yeah, you got Blue hopping around. And for anyone who's not following, Blue is his genetic construct, pet bluebird. Or
Yes.
Blue Jay. Excuse
Blue
me,
Jay,
not
yes.
Blue Jay, not Bluebird. Blue Jay. So,
And it talks.
sort of.
So, well, I mean, yeah, not a conversation, but like a parrot.
Yeah, it's
Like a-
yeah, exactly. It can imitate noises.
Right.
It will not hold a conversation with you.
What's the name of the bird? Is it
Blue.
It's blue.
Blue.
Okay.
Because Gil's super creative.
Right.
And so it's hopping around. You guys drive over to Ellen is riding with you. And she directs you guys to a spot where, as best as you can tell by what's left of road signs, you are somewhere vaguely blast radius close to the town of Harmon, Illinois. And you're not in Harmon, but you are somewhere in that vicinity.
I can't ride on ahead to scout, make sure the road is clear, and then not too. I keep it in sight, but I'm. a little bit-
What powers your motorcycle?
It is an electric motorcycle.
So it's electric. Okay.
Yeah, and I have solar panels that.
So it's okay. So it's
Oh
not
no, I hook it up to the
the
truck
truck.
solar
Yeah.
panels. Yeah.
The truck has solar panels, and then also the Habitat has the solar panels. So you guys have a couple ways of getting
Yeah, it's
solar
an EV.
power. Okay. So give me what's your competence, etc.
Mine?
Yeah.
That's the presence likability. It's the one that we're talking about. Do we even roll on it or not?
Okay. So, and then what's your reliability and struggle?
Cracking heads and all that nerd shit.
All that nerd shit. Okay. So none of this is relevant to this. Okay. So. Okay. You ride on up ahead, and as you are riding ahead, give me a. This is unrelated to anything, so just give me a 2d6 plus either. I'll let you choose between smarts and perception.
Okay, they're both the same. 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Okay, so you have 13. That's above a 12, so you're within the range. All right, so as you start riding ahead, you're kind of going in and out amongst the trees and along the roads and such. And because of the fact that your motorcycle is electric, so it does make some noise. That's
it makes
enough.
like a whir.
Yeah,
And then
but it's not like this. Yeah, exactly. It's not some roaring Harley. You notice as you're getting closer to the spot where this is supposed to be that you see signs of people having recently passed through here. Possibly you're not a tracker, but possibly very recently. Do you continue on toward the site, or do you wait for the truck to catch up?
I'll wait for the truck to catch up.
Okay. The truck runs off of hydrogen fuel cells. It also does not have a screamingly loud engine, but it's freaking big, and it's driving
Freaky and stuff.
and it's driving through wilderness right now, so it's also making a lot of noise. You know that one's not going to be something that you can hide. So as the truck gets up toward the location, there's a couple of trees that start to make it a little bit harder to navigate, and Ellen inside the truck says, "It's just a little bit that way. Probably easiest just to walk."
I point out the what I saw.
Okay. Think, I don't know. That's your D6s.
That's fair.
Yeah, so, okay. So, oops, you're on that back. So, Ellen gets out, and she takes a look at what you're pointing out, and, she, upon seeing that, she just holds up a finger to be quiet, and
I pull my pistol out. But I just have it hanging out my side.
She slips on ahead, and she comes back and says,
I kind of wave to the guys in the truck. I've got my pistol out. Like, again, I'm not like holding it up, but I kind of like wave to you guys, and I'm like this with my pistol, and then
yeah.
I look around.
She comes back and says, "There's people up there picking through it.
At the recycler thing?
They're just pulling back foliage at this point."
I mean, we're not land pirates. They're there first.
Yeah, what if I told you they are?
Then Gil looks at her, and then he flips the thing on his pistol, and it's a revolver, and the cylinder opens up. He goes, "I've got 5 bullets," and he slaps it shut and he holsters it.
Yeah, but they don't know that.
No, we're not gonna fucking get in a fight with land pirates over rusted junk in the middle of nowhere.
Are they on foot?
It was on foot. Counted 4 of them.
Next, you're gonna say we outnumber them.
No, I was just saying we just run over them.
We can't get the truck all the way up there.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm not a driver. We want to go talk to them? Maybe we can
About
we
what?
join forces.
These are
Hell,
bad dudes.
They're already clearing off this foliage. They're doing half the work for us.
When you say land pirates, do you know them?
I know of them. I've never actually encountered them before. It's one of the gangs that operates out of Chicago.
Okay,
This is-
Chicago gangs. They beat us here.
Okay,
Fair's fair.
but this is far afield for them. If they came here to this, I mean, it's up to you what you want to do. This isn't how I make my living. But if they came here for this, there's a good chance they know something about this. I mean, this isn't the kind of thing that they would come this far out for and just stumble across.
Yeah, it's too much of a coincidence.
Do you think they were sent down here?
Or, I don't know, maybe they know it contains something. I don't know. That's...
I still have that pneumatic pistol.
This is a bad idea, guys.
Maybe valuable, but I'm with Boone.
Yeah, you're
Maybe valuable, but I'm with Gil on this one. They beat us to it fair and square.
And I mean, we go up to them and then what? We say, "What you guys doing around here? Is that important, valuable, and powerful?"
No, man. We go up there. They're businessmen. Maybe we offer them a deal. Sell some of that shit
Well,
for them.
other than your sweet lily ass, what else we got to sell them?
They got to move it somewhere. What are they going to do? Take it all the way back to Chicago?
What if they see the truck and they're like, "Hey, that's a nice truck you have of ours."
I don't have all the ideas. We came all this way.
It was an hour. You got outside. You got some fresh air. You got away from people treating you like shit for some time.
They don't mean it. I'm not mad at them.
They beat us here fair and square.
Okay.
I'm not the curious one. I think if we go up there, shooting starts.
No,
I don't have a problem with walking away from this.
and when you say that they're bad dudes.
Oh, yeah.
So if we went try to talk business, they'd probably try and kill us.
Good chance.
Don't even know why I'm asking this, but are they armed?
Yeah.
They beat us here fair and square, and they're armed.
Wasting my fucking time.
Thanks, Junior.
How is it my fault?
It's always your fault.
As I went with, I want to see what's in there too, but they beat us here. It's their salvage.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys hear a voice.
I shoot it. I ain't taking chances.
Outstanding.
Now this is what Sog is all about.
You hear a voice call out from I don't know, maybe 24 yards away. Hey, what's up over there?
Hey!
Oh shit. I walk over to. I don't dive over. I walk over to the truck,
Okay.
and I have the corner of the truck interposed between me and the voice. Where
Okay.
I can kind of casually lean and use it for cover.
How do you do a stealth roll?
If you want to stealth, do you obviously surgeon's not going to. Do you have anything that would harm you in your ability to stealth?
No.
Okay. Then it'd just be straight 2d6 plus agility, and that's going to be the target they're going to need to beat to spot you.
Okay, so my idea is that maybe after I heard that, because I was leaning like against the truck the whole time.
Yeah.
Maybe I was somewhere that like they were on that side, like in between because the truck has a not a trailer, but it's not one big piece. It's
No, actually, it is one big piece.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, let's say I like snuck under it or something.
Well, I mean, look, it's a big ass truck in the middle of the woods with foliage everywhere. Places to hide are not hard to come by. So, okay, so 6 plus what's your agility?
8.
So, total 14. Okay. So, anyone that wants to spot you will have to beat a 14. Okay. All right, so you take stealth.
I am going to try to slip back into the truck and put on my scrap armor.
Okay, so you're armoring up.
I'm standing there. Hey!
I grab him by the scruff of the neck and pull him over to by me by the truck. What are you doing?
They've obviously already seen us.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you need to stand out there and get shot.
If he wanted to shoot us, he could have shot us. He didn't have to give up his position.
Oh my god, the tactical brilliance. What?
Okay, Gil, when you look around the edge of the truck, you do not see a person.
Mhm.
Okay, so a little bit off from here, I said about 2 dozen yards off from here, there is just a bump in the ground. Might be a log there that's gotten grown over. Who knows? This could just be a deformity of the earth. But there's a bump in the ground. And so from behind that cover, you see a bear's head. Like a literal bear's head that is poking over the top of this. And this is the source of the voice.
It's totally a talking bear.
Red bears.
I
At least we speak their language. The language of rock and roll. Finally. This is worth the trip.
So I hold him back because obviously he wants to go talk to the bear, and I go, "Okay, Smokey, what?"
What you guys here for?
Nature walk, getting some fresh air for my friend.
Nature walk in a truck?
They're not gonna buy it, man.
Yeah, it's how we roll, literally.
Well, I tell you what.
Chicken butt.
Are there trees in the area?
Oh yeah, tons of them.
Okay, so I'm trying to make my way to a tree line to kind of maybe.
Okay. So let me see if they have actually spotted you. This guy has not yet spotted you. So, okay, you're able to... Are you trying to get closer, or...
Just trying to get a better view of maybe how many of them... I know we saw the few, but...
Yeah,
there's
okay.
more.
So, what you see... All right, so as you get a little bit closer, what you manage to see is you can see what Ellen was talking about. So, you can see a spot where they are tearing back overgrowth, and there is definitely some kind of a large metal object that is there. Now, a couple things strike you about it. First of all, while it is overgrown, this thing also appears to be partially sunken. You have no idea what would cause that. It's not like you're out in quicksand or muddy terrain or something like that, but this thing is partially down in the ground. Once again, you have no idea what the hell would cause that. There was nothing about the function of these things that made them do that. So the other thing you notice is that despite having pulled it back, or pulled back the foliage, you can see two of them, at least, are still working on it and seem to be doing so rather hastily. And they seem to be digging around it, looking for something quite specific. In fact, like at times they're pointing things out to each other and then moving a little bit and then digging down a bit and pulling a particular piece aside. They seem to be after something quite particular. Now, if there were four of them, you know that one of them's talking to you. There are two of them that are still working on it. That leaves a fourth that's unaccounted for.
Okay. I'll keep an eye out for the fourth one that was supposedly there.
So can we just have a mutual understanding here, or do people have to get hurt?
Oh, people always have to get hurt, but I think that we can come to a mutual understanding that maybe we should just pack up and leave, guys.
Where's Poe? We're at the stop. So, did you guys find it or what?
So who sent you?
Dunk.
Oh my god. Gil says that out loud. Oh my god.
1 in a million. It's like, Dunk? That motherfucker.
I just look right at you. My eyes are burning through you.
Yeah, man. He totally sold you out.
At this point, Gil stops, and he's just facing the truck and going, dunk, dunk.
Well, we don't owe him shit.
No, you don't owe him shit. And I'm not sure I owe you shit.
No, I'm saying he fucked us both.
Well, he fucked us both. How'd he fuck you?
He's told us to come out here. Obviously, either to get us shanghaied or whatever, lose our shit. Maybe we fight each other. And he ends up with all of it.
So Dunk gets you guys out of the way, and then All right. Well, I tell you what. Here's the deal I'm willing to make. You accept your loss. We take it. We're gone in 5 minutes. It's all over.
Wait a minute. You can get that thing out in 5 minutes?
5 minutes.
Yeah, man.
Find out what they're talking about.
If you need some help getting it out,
Oh, don't you come anywhere close to it.
oh, don't worry. I've been just offering to, just being neighborly.
By the way, Poe, you notice that all of them are wearing bear skins, and they have restructured the head of the bear. You're not sure what it is internally, if there's a skull in there or what it is, to where they can wear it like a mask over their faces.
Oh, so they could like look through the eyes.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
So that's why they're talking to a bear head. And these guys have it all lifted up. So the two that you see have it lifted up, so it's not obscuring their vision. Probably an intimidation tactic, because certainly in the dark it would be freaky as hell
To see a bear.
to see out. So probably an intimidation tactic, but
And with all of this conversation going, I'm going to check the band scanner to see if there's a signal coming from over there.
no, there is not.
Okay.
All right. I say, hey, do what you got to do. And then I just turn a little bit. I pull out my fake Geiger counter and I kind of look over at Gil and watch it go. "Wah," and then I look at him and go,
Poe, the two guys that are digging in it,
Yeah.
they reach down. One of them pulls out a small metal container. It's about the size of like a modern day computer hard drive. That's not what it is, but it's about
Right.
that size. Pulls out a small metal box, and the two of them nod to each other. He puts it into a leather pouch slung over his shoulder, and one of them slaps the other on the shoulder, and they get down off the thing, kind of using it for cover, and start making their way like 90 degrees off from you guys out toward the wilderness. And as they're going, one of them makes a whistling noise, and you see a third one emerge from hiding, rifle in hand, and he starts following behind them, just sort of like checking angles, giving a shot to see if he sees you. He does spot you, and he's got some kind of a makeshift rifle. You don't know how good a quality or what exactly it is. Some kind of makeshift rifle aimed at you, but is not firing. He just has it aimed at you, and they seem to be beating a hasty retreat.
So this is like definitely way more important than what we originally thought it was, for sure.
After hearing the whistle, the three of you give me a 2d6 plus perception, unless you have something that would help you, like you, I don't know, weirdly predisposed to scouting or something.
16.
16, okay.
that's an 11.
8.
Okay, Wayne, you hear the whistle, and as soon as you hear that whistling noise, the one that you're talking to, the bear head turns a bit and then looks back forward and says, so why don't you guys tell me you from Dixon?
Nope.
How'd you meet Dunk?
We travel.
Travel all around, huh?
You ever seen a truck like this in Dixon?
No, can't say that I have. Haven't been in Dixon too much, though.
I haven't seen a truck like this in any town. We travel.
Okay, that's fair enough. So, good truck, treating you well?
She's a beaut.
Son of a bitch.
Looks like a whole lot of good stuff away from here.
Difficult to keep running.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
The chemical toilet backs up from time to time when it rains.
Has a toilet and everything.
So you have a chemical toilet that you dump rainwater into, okay?
Well, we ran out of chemicals.
That's fair.
Alrighty then.
So, are you wearing anything under that bear skin?
What?
Seducing. Excellent tactic.
Yeah.
Not a woman?
I know. It's like,
Is that a woman? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. I really like it. Did you do that yourself?
Oh, everybody that joins the Rad Bears has to kill one themselves.
Rad bears. Is that like a? Is that
You guys asked for it, so I told you be in there. There'd be Rad Bears.
Yeah.
Then I hold up the Geiger counter. It's them. It's them.
See, you guys found what you want, I'm guessing.
So while they're doing this, I'm making my way back. I've put a tree in between those three to where I'm backing away
We
from
haven't
it so
heard
they can't really see me.
any vehicles or anything like that, so it's obviously something small.
The bear head disappeared. No, I'm sorry. He would continue talking to you a little bit. He says, if you ever come out east, you can maybe see if you got what it takes to be initiated and join.
Oh man, I want to be a part of the Red Bears.
Trust me, he don't have what it takes.
I don't think he does.
Rad bears, huh? Okay.
He's a hairdresser. You guys need a hairdresser?
They got an awful lot of hair.
They do. Needs dressing.
Well, initiation, it's not easy, but it's simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then if it's simple, then so you just let anybody in,
Oh, anybody that can pass the initiation.
and it's real simple.
Oh, it's simple. It's not easy, but it's simple.
You probably have to kill a bear.
Yeah, and skin it.
Yeah, that's you have to kill a bear and skin it.
Huh. How about that? That's actually really cool.
And then you wear it.
You kill a bear cub.
Yeah.
Gil pokes his head just a little bit around the thing and says, you guys got a lot of bears? I mean, like, where do you keep them?
Oh, we don't. You have to hunt it down.
Oh,
You have to go hunt one.
oh, yay.
Also, it's like a tribal thing.
Sure.
Nice.
The bear head drops down behind the little berm. That
You got a
is-
name?
Yeah, it's Smokey.
Smokey.
You had no response.
All right, Smokey. We'll see you guys later. That was awesome. Rad bears. What the hell is that? What does that even mean?
I think it means radiation and bear.
Well, I don't take it literally.
I think they do.
Oh, you think they're like ratted up?
What does that mean?
Like, irradiated. Like,
No,
they've been
no,
drinking-
They're not dead.
They'd be dying. But Chicago was hit by an atomic bomb, so it's
So they're
not
the
that-
Chicago Bears. I totally get it.
We're leaving them here. We're tying you to a tree, Junior. We're leaving you here.
It's brilliant.
Ellen, her shoulders droop, and she kind of loosens the arrow and the bow, and she's like, "Why don't I go find out if they're gone? Or does this like not even matter anymore?"
No, please find out if they're
So
gone.
We need to find Poe.
Yeah. I'll pop up now. Like I work my way back.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Hello, Dr. Poe. Okay. Ellen's sheep sneaks off. I mean, she just gone. She's good. Actually just rolled really outstandingly well for her as well. But, I mean, it's seriously like Batman. Like, she's like, I'm going to go scout ahead. And you guys, like, turn around and say, okay, and she's already not there.
She comes back an hour later, says there's only 3 left.
And she comes back after just a couple minutes, and she says, "No, they took off east of here. They peeled part of it back, took something out of it, and they're done."
Yeah, I explained what I saw. Like
All right.
I saw it was something. It's probably about this big, and they were real excited about it. And they fucked off right away.
I pull out my pad, my working electronic pad, and go. Was it like a hard drive?
I don't know what the hell it is.
Like a solid state drive? What
Now,
are
I
we
have
talking about?
incompetence
Here?
mechanics, but I'm going to assume also that would still count. Well, I guess not really.
I'll give you with the incompetence. So 3d6, pick the worst two, and add it to your intelligence. Wow. Even at your worst two, that's still pretty freaking amazing.
So 18.
Yeah, that's incredibly amazing. So what they pulled out of it was a logistical component that was used to basically tell the thing where to go and to track what it produced. And so think of it kind of like a coordinating component.
Right.
So what they just took was records of where this thing had been, what it had recovered, and where it was headed to.
So basically, it's
It's a command and control component.
yeah. Well, now they using that, they can go to basically anywhere that this place went to and where it was going to.
Well, good for them.
Now let's see if there's anything we can get off of this thing.
The problem is, how are they going to access that information? See, if they were smart, they would have talked to us because we obviously probably have
Well, yeah, and you would have told them everything.
for a price. I mean,
You know-
everything's negotiable, man.
I'm looking at Boone and I'm like, based on our conversation that Junior just had with them, they might get it in their head to come back with some friends, and he wraps them inside the truck and take this from us. Even though our chemical toilet doesn't work, I don't think that's a negative selling point for those guys.
I think you're missing the point, Gil.
Or they might go back to town.
They obviously knew Dunk.
That information is incorrect. The chemical toilet is working perfectly.
Oh, hey, there you are.
I had nothing to add prior to this point.
Then how come every time I pull the plunger down, it doesn't do anything?
It's a chemical toilet. It doesn't flush.
Oh.
What the hell are you pulling down?
Total sense now. Then what the hell have I been pulling down all this time?
I don't want to know.
Anyway, you guys, they knew who Dunk was.
So they knew who a guy named Dunk was. Everybody has dumbass names out here.
That's true, but that they obviously have connections. Dunk may know where to find these dudes.
Chicago.
They didn't come all the way out here from Chicago.
Okay. So, do we want to take a look at this thing and see if there's anything worth pulling off of it? Or do we want to go before they come roaring over the hills with a bunch of guys with guns to shoot us dead and take our truck?
Ellen says it's your call, but if they had help that close by, they'd have called it in.
Yeah, but if we have to cut anything off that truck, it's going to take hours.
Ellen,
Let's look at the truck first.
yeah.
Just
I never
see.
thought I'd say this, but I'm on Junior's side on this one. What? Come on, Gil, you know it's true. Think about it. Those guys out here, how excited they were to find this thing out immediately.
And they were a bunch of douchebags.
They
You
were a
are
bunch
no
of douchebags.
longer the second smartest
Ellen,
person.
No, I
Ellen,
see this as something important.
how prevalent are bears in this area?
I mean, you can find them if you want to.
No, I'm not intending on hunting them. I'm just saying. I'm trying to maybe figure out how many of these guys there are. If the initiation is to you got to hunt down a bear, kill it, and skin it, I'm suggesting there ain't a whole lot of them.
Could be a relatively small group, yeah.
Yeah, capable of killing and skinning bears with their bare hands.
Wicked bear.
All right. I'm going to go look at the machine. You're not going to take anything off of it yet. Just look at it. See if it's even worth. Maybe it's a hunk of rusted junk and it's not worth the conversation.
Go for it.
I'll go with you.
No, it's his hearts. Evaluate it.
Up
Hearts.
to the machine.
Yeah, hearts stomps through to the machine.
I climb up on top of the truck,
Okay.
and I got my binoculars out, and I'm kind of scanning around.
Trees are making things a little bit difficult, but go ahead, give me a 2d6 plus perception. I don't think you have anything for or against perceiving.
14.
14. Okay, so you're above the 12. Outside of some wildlife, You don't see any motion. You're not hearing anything. I mean, just random wildlife.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like a whole lot else is going on out here.
Okay.
Hearts, upon reaching the machine, opens up a port in his wrist and connects to one of its components. It lacks power, however, they have already exposed most of its computational elements.
With my abstract technology design competence, I'm looking at this as, would it maybe have had some sort of a memory backup or something like that, or is there some way to access maybe the last thing that it did?
Okay, let's work through those. Would it have some kind of a memory backup? Give me the roll. So, you abstract technology, is that your 3d6 one? So, 3d6 plus 2 plus intelligence.
That is a 19.
19, okay, that's a very good success. So, at a 19, you know that this thing would have, the federal government at the time, which doesn't exist anymore, but the federal government of the time would not have allowed something like this to operate without some kind of a backup.
Okay.
Now, there would have been human operators with it, but still, they're not going to want something that is this important to just freak out and do whatever and possibly break down.
Recycle an orphanage.
Exactly. Or who knows what. So it's going to have some kind of a failsafe. So unless they took both of them, there should be another failsafe somewhere on this thing. Now, its current orders, the way that the memory would work on this thing is, yes, it would have had some kind of semi-volatile processing space that might still be readable, but you would need computer systems and a power source and other things that it would take some work to. I mean, I know you have a functional data pad, so you think it's conceivable, but it's going to take some parts and it's going to take some work to do.
All right, so I'll pass that along
You'd yank all that out.
to Boone, and I'll say, if we had a power source, I could probably access the old stored information.
Use hearts as a power source.
Have him run on a treadmill? What?
We got batteries back in the truck.
Those are valuable.
But hearts isn't. We wear his ass out.
Did Tony come with us?
Yeah, Tony's there with me.
I called down to Fat Tony and I'm like, Tony,
Yeah.
how much you want to bet those guys are trying to solve this fucking mystery instead of pulling shit out of the thing that we could sell?
Depends on which side of the bet I'm on. I might bet a whole fucking lot on that. If I get to pick which side of the bet.
No, because I'm laying money down that these guys are jacking off on the thing and trying to solve the fucking mystery instead of getting some shit in the truck.
While you guys are talking, Hearts withdraws the plug that he had in there.
Please tell me it was in his pelvis.
No, it was in his wrist. And begins just by sheer strength pulling back some parts of the metal frame.
Are you pulling to expose the backup?
No. However, there are storage containers that would have anything this has previously processed,
That's what I was getting ready to look for next.
which I
By all
believe will
means.
contain metals, and also the plastics may have been broken down into petroleum.
Could Molly use some of that stuff for her ship?
Could Maw?
Molly.
Molly.
Oh, Molly. Oh,
Yeah, I
I
call
thought
her
it said
Maw.
Maw, and I'm like, I was trying to think, who is Maw in this? Like, Maw Carver's dead. You've never encountered her.
Spoilers!
No, Molly.
Molly. Could Molly? Yes, she would need more than that, but yes.
Yeah, Molly could use some of this stuff for her ship.
And we could sell some of this stuff too.
Well, yeah. To Molly.
Where would the backup be?
I'll just point in a general area, probably around roundabouts there.
I got nothing better to go on. I go roundabouts there. And I'm
Okay.
looking for the backup.
Waynard, give me. What's your competence?
I can fix that.
I'll give it to you.
All right, plus intelligence.
Yes, 10 blow. Wow, this is going to be, I'm guessing, pretty good for you.
18.
Okay. Yeah, you find the spot. It's going to take some cutting and some digging, but you have found where that component is.
All right, I start digging.
Okay, so you start digging that out. As you were digging that out, Hearts, using both raw strength and also stored cutting blades, begins cutting through larger portions of this thing. And some of the scrap metal that appears to be in better shape, he seems to be sorting aside into a pile. And then he begins pulling storage bins from it. And these storage bins, they're about the size of, I'm trying to think what to compare them to, like that plastic container over there. So, you know,
Everyone listening to this got that?
yeah, I realize it's not terribly helpful. So it's these storage bins are about 2 foot by 2 foot by 3 foot. If you have like big old storage bins you get from Target or something that you use to store things away in your attic or your under the stairs storage room, it's about that size. And these would be top loaded. So what would happen is as the machine is breaking things down, it would load them into these bins. And the bins are designed to be small but numerous, with the idea being that this machine, as it encounters new materials, would be able to sort a lot of different kinds of materials. So now that means the materials it encountered frequently, such as things like steel that it broke down, would fill many of these bins, whereas things that it encountered less frequently may not come anywhere close to filling a bin, but would nonetheless have somewhere to go.
Hey, Hearts, there any gold or copper in there?
Yes, there is.
We should make sure to take some of that.
Of course.
Take all of that.
I come
Good
back
conductors.
out and I say,
Yeah, conduct money into our pockets.
I'm like wiping my hands and I say, Gil, all the nerd shit's done, and now it's just digging and shit. So if you want to take over, I can watch from the top of the truck. Like
Gil's sitting there and he's got his legs hanging over the edge of the truck, and he's playing with a Rubik's Cube. And he looks up at you and goes, "No, you're doing good over there, Junior. Good job. Keep it up."
all right, I'm just watching him with his root. You still haven't gotten that thing, have you?
No, he never ever gets this thing.
All right, so you guys pull the bins and some scrap metal out of it. You get the backup drive out of it, or the backup command component out of it. Is there anything else particular you're trying to take from this thing?
Is there a compartment that has like seats and steering wheel and all that shit in it?
There would be, yes. It's not been uncovered yet, but yes, there would be I don't want to call it a command room, but
Sure.
yeah.
After components, that'd be the next thing I'd be looking at.
Yeah, because there could be manuals in there. There could be, if it has dials and shit,
Mhm.
then that means it has computers in it, potentially, and also wires and whatnot, gauges that you guys can use, and seats.
Bucket seats,
That's right. And a steering wheel.
like a commander's seat.
If it's preserved, if it hasn't been, if it's,
Yeah, you said now that we're closer to this thing, you said it looked like it had been sunk into the ground.
Yes.
So interesting.
Yeah, and once again, you see no mechanism. Now, these things did have the capacity. They could have a modular drill or like an exploration device that could be mounted on the underside. So it would have the ability, for example, to bore down to get to things, but these things did not have like some kind of like tick-like burrowing ability where they could just sort of, dig themselves into the ground. So something else occurred here.
Yeah. I think at this point, we got the backup, we get the bins. I'd be looking for the same thing you were describing, steering wheel seats, like the,
manual or
basically wherever somebody would sit in to
A
drive this
logbook?
thing.
Yeah. And as you guys pull all that out, you can definitely tell there's a distinction of interests because you guys are evaluating things based on trade value. Molly's evaluating them based on their usefulness in rebuilding a spaceship. But
one's realistic.
yeah, I'm not going to tell you that. I'll put it to you this way: if this was Blaze in the Dark, Molly's pie would not be terribly full.
Right.
So.
Right. You have a lot of slices.
I'm
there.
just saying it, but it that's her pie, okay?
Yeah.
If you play Blaze in the Dark, you know what I'm referring to. If you don't,
And I view it as, like, especially Gil would, rag on her about it, but he doesn't. Because he understands what it is.
yeah.
It's hope.
It's not, well, to him, it's not hope. But to him, it keeps her busy.
Right.
And it keeps her happy. And,
To her, it's hope.
yeah, it's going to be, he's not going to take that away. But to him, it's never going to fly.
Oh, of course not.
Yeah, I'm going to look at kind of where it's sunken in, kind of looking at the ground. I'll say, Boone, you think this is like mine subsidence or something? You think maybe, because I heard wasn't there like mines and stuff all around this area? Maybe it dug into something.
Think it collapsed under it?
Maybe.
Could be. I say this as I'm yanking things out of
I was gonna. Does anyone have anything approaching like a geological skill by which you could evaluate?
Sounds like all that nerd shit to me.
Yeah, I was gonna say you definitely ain't got it. I'm trying to. Does anyone have anything approaching the skills necessary to
Nope.
evaluate what occurred here? I didn't think so. I'd say Molly wouldn't. Hearts doesn't. Well, he goes by what's loaded, and he's not got that loaded right now.
Whatever it is.
Fat Tony wasn't a geologist.
No. He was a connoisseur.
Yeah, and
We'd never even seen a rock a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and Ellen, she can tell you it's not natural, but that's about all she could tell you. So okay, you guys load up the truck with the things that you think are worth taking, and leaving behind. There's still a lot of scrap metal that if you get desperate. There's things like scrap metal. There is some parts of this thing like you do find some of its tread mechanisms and such. There's engine parts. There are some things that it just comes to a point where you filled the truck, but if you wanted to come back for a second run, you do see things that you think would be either usable for other projects or saleable. And one of the advantages of this particular find is that even if you didn't come as a group, it is well within the range of something that walking or with rented horses, you could come back even without taking out the truck again. So you guys take the load, you take it back to town, and well, or do you guys take it back to town? I mean,
Yeah.
Okay. And Sally, not Sally, excuse me, Susan then begins working with Thomas to help you guys fence it. So now we're going to start working through. So you guys are, since this one we're actually doing the resource game a bit more frequently. Okay, the Jack of Hearts. This is not going to be good. So,
Oh, great.
I thought that was good.
Yeah. I mean, it's hearts. It's love. Jack. It's a high card.
Right.
Be merciful.
I love Jack.
What's your t-shirt from?
Overwatch?
Yeah, Diva.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
I don't play Overwatch,
her
but
tag.
I play Heroes of the Storm, and
I hardly ever play Overwatch anymore. I play Heroes of the Storm, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So, some good news, bad news. All right. So, what is happening is the Jack of Hearts represents a faltering but persistent. I feel like I'm reading tarot cards here. But what the Jack of Hearts represents is a faltering but persistent eating away at the group's general morale and cohesion. You know what? It doesn't take a whole lot of imagination to explain that in the context of this game.
Yeah.
Because you guys certainly had many differences of opinions and different goals and such. I think that's fairly easy to explain. All right, so the way that's going to work is this thing has a base attack power of an 11. Now, it's going to get 3 dice, but it will use the worst 2, okay? So it's going to basically be rolling at a disadvantage on you guys. So now what you guys have to do is either with 1 card plus 2d6 or 2 cards plus 2d6 have to oppose what I'm going to roll. Now, if you use 2 cards, the second card will automatically take a 2-point reduction even if you win. All right? So now this is where you guys have to decide. So, for example, you could come back at this with the 9 of spades and say, you know what, we're going to oppose that despite the fact that we're kind of a rolling shit show, the 9 of hearts still looks, or the 9 of spades represents opportunity. There's still a lot of opportunity out there. Things are looking good in town. Time is on your side. So maybe the fact that you guys are not getting along just doesn't bother you all that much. But
we've never gotten along.
So it's up to you guys. How do you, and if you choose to oppose it with 2 dice, you say, well, or 2 cards, excuse me, you say, well, we're going to oppose it with both our opportunity, and then also we'll throw some wealth at it, but then the wealth will automatically be reduced. You guys are going to burn through resources. So how many cards do you want to use, and which is the primary, which is the secondary?
And what happens if we lose?
If you lose, then the secondary card, if there is one, still goes down by 2. The primary card will be reduced by the margin of loss.
Okay.
So, how do you guys want to do this? Or you can just defer the whole thing to Wayne and let him make that call.
Can we use bullets?
No.
Yep. This is, based on last time, this is purely going off these. I think we did do 2 cards once because we really wanted to hit it.
Now, you will get 2 dice straight. So the 9 plus 2 dice is pretty good, assuming Wayne doesn't roll it. Because I get 3 dice plus an 11, but I have to pick the worst 2. So, I could 3
And we don't
6
get
it.
plus anything with straight dice?
Dice plus the card.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's just do 1 card.
Yeah, because a jack is a hard one to overcome,
Yeah.
and we don't want to automatically reduce something unless we use the 6 as the primary and the 9 as the secondary.
So
Would automatically
the 9 would
to
drop down to 7,
Mhm.
which is still reasonably
Yeah, let's
opportunity.
just use 1 card. And if we fail it, we just eat it.
Yep. So that's the question: is what do we want to put at risk? The 9's the only one that we really stand a chance with winning. I think
What's the 9?
our opportunities.
My next question is, what happens if a card is reduced to 0?
It cannot be reduced to 0. It goes down to an ace, which represents a 1, and it will be stuck at 1.
Forever?
No. You can buy it back up. There's ways you can buy the cards back up.
Okay, that was my question.
The
If we
cards,
could get it back.
yes, the cards can be raised either through plot. Okay, so for example, let's say you guys have some huge breakthrough where you suddenly decode all of that telemetry data. Okay, if you did that, then I would automatically just boost your opportunity just as a matter of the course of plot. If you guys stumble across a huge cache of wealth that that's wildly out of the norm, then I would just automatically boost your diamonds. Okay, so that's just how that would work. Or once you guys go to the cash out phase, there you can use the cash out phase to reinvest back into your own infrastructure, and you have to explain to me what you're doing, but you can buy those cards back up in value.
Okay.
The sad thing is, Image would have made more sense, but it's a lower card, so we're going resources.
I would say do the one that makes more sense.
Because the one that makes the most sense to me is Image. We just ran into people. We got beaten to the punch.
Yeah. I say do Image. Like you said, it makes more sense. What are we doing? Are we buying opinion? We're putting a full page ad out in the paper.
I said we probably will lose if we go Image, though.
Do it.
All right, so you're doing Image. So, reputation. So okay. So
we could do Image. Here's the thing, though. Like, why would we do Image? What's your reasoning behind that?
Well, it would
Because
be
it makes more
the Rad
sense.
Bears think we're a bunch of doinks.
Yeah, but
And
they're assholes that no one cares about. So, like, what do we care that these nobodies that
I will
may
say,
not be very many
from a
people?
perspective of in town, we could go either way on what people think of you guys in general, but the punchline is you went out with a truck. You did come back with things to sell. You appear
Yeah, we were
to everyone but Ellen to be a functional and working group.
I mean, all in all, we were successful.
Yeah.
The only thing we weren't successful in is the one thing nobody cared about anyway, which was the thing we didn't know about.
which we actually got and brought back.
Yeah, so I don't think image makes any sense.
Well, are we going to? But the 9 is resources, right?
It's opportunity.
It's opportunity.
So if you guys lost opportunity, it could be because Ellen's lost confidence in you, so she's not going to tell you about as much. Or maybe this represents stripping. This thing represents giving up local opportunity because you've expended it. You used it up. Right. I think you could explain almost any of these cards, except probably people, because you've not. Radically shifted anyone's like.
You've won me over on image, so I'd say let's go with opportunity.
So opportunity?
It's what makes sense to me at this point.
I think opportunity makes sense because
we just used an opportunity.
Yeah, we just used opportunity, and if we do crack into whatever that is, that's more opportunity.
Okay, so single card opportunity is single card opportunity. Okay, who's going to roll the 2d6?
Wayne.
You sure about that?
I feel complete confidence in you.
All right, so the roll against
Dan's dice
is going to be 11 plus 8 is a 19. All right, so you had a 7 plus a 9, which is a 16. So that beats you by 3.
So that's not a bad roll.
That card goes down to a 6. So the best opportunity that you had in the area, now 6 is not, obviously you're still on the upper half of things. Yeah. So you're not crushed. Okay.
We have a lot of opportunities. We just haven't been able to crack.
Okay, so now what we do is we go to the cash out phase.
Tax records, encrypted telemetry, and database.
So we now have, we go to the final phase, which is the cash out phase. So what we do is we take the best and worst of your cards. Now for the best, you're tied. But what this represents is basically the best represents the things you're leveraging, which would probably have been opportunity. I think it'd be much harder to explain that in terms of resources. I mean, you could because the truck helped. Now, this is just storytelling, by the way. This doesn't have any mechanical thing. Your lowest is people. So the fact that you did not have a whole lot of people to work with or rely on did make stripping this a bit harder. You might have gotten more if you had more people working with you, or you guys were getting along a little better. But the point being, though, that the looking at the highest and lowest card, like I said, it's purely for storytelling. So you guys tell me your lowest is people. Your highest is right now a tie between opportunity and resources. You can pick one or the other. What's the story of why this went the way it did? Now, you guys are coming out cash positive.
So, Ellen, So wait, what's the story of why we lost?
Yeah. For example, I'll tell this one so you guys get some sense. So, the best thing you had going for you was opportunity. Mm-hmm. Your biggest problem was people. Okay, and that's reflected in the cards. Okay, so I'm looking at your highest and lowest cards. So the story I would tell might be something like you had a great opportunity. Ellen, being a scout and having come across this in her travels, was able to find you guys something with a lot of valuable resources that the group that you were competing with, quote unquote, really didn't seem to want the same thing you guys did. Now, however, having a lack of people, so right now your only people that are in your organization is the PCs plus, 2.5, depending on how you count the robot, NPCs. So it's not like you had a big team out here with horses and cars where you just stripped this thing to the bolts and took it all. So there was a limit to what you were able to take, because while you got a great truck and you got a robot and whatever, it's not like you guys have a fully functional organization to do this. Right. And there's also obviously a lot of intra-party difficulty. And so things were inefficient. And so as a result, you guys were able to get some damn good stuff, but your lack of people and your lack of group cohesion made things harder than they should have been. So that kept you from getting the most out of the situation. So you guys follow how I'm telling the story of the high card, low card? Okay, so your different. So your total here, your high cards are tied at 6. You have 2 at 6. Your low card is a 4. So that puts you a total of 10 in the positive. So you now have 10 in cash. Now, the easiest thing you can do with that 10 is at 2 points apiece, you can buy up cards. Okay, so if you spent 6 of those 10, that could put you back to a 9 in opportunity. You can also use these to buy off other things like problems with characters. Right now, you don't have any. If one of you had a serious injury, you could buy that off from me, and it would be like, okay, he picks the right pill, and it's space regeneration power, and you're back fine. You can use this, and I'd have to work out pricing. I need to think about pricing. But if you guys say, you know what, we need to upgrade our arsenal of weapons, we need to put we need ground effects on the truck. I mean,
Well, yeah.
which you totally do, by
Some
the way.
badass flames.
Then we can use these to start actually buying
We
things.
need chemicals in the
Or,
chemical
for
toilet.
example,
Not just a pot.
Let's say you want to. I mean, that could be something. You want to make the toilet a flush toilet. You want to start looking into things like armoring the sides of the truck.
Yeah.
These are the types of things that you can spend it on. But this represents sort of a super wealth. So these 10 represent a lot more than, what a 10 barter value would be, which isn't much. So this is kind of a super wealth and also a plot level wealth to where you can start saying, okay, we're going to, I guess if we were to put this in back to Blades in the Dark terms, this would be like buying pie pieces. Or you can use them to buy up your cards. So to answer your question about what happens if you got down to an ace, that's how you would recover from the ace, is you would start buying your cards back up.
Cool.
So you guys don't have to make any decisions on this now. I mean, at any reasonable point, I'll let you spend it. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to let you be like, you know what, mid-combat, hey, I'll give you the 10, now we have a 50 cal on top.
Yeah.
So, but at any reasonable point, you guys can come back and spend out of that. So, and you guys can also choose, by the way, to convert that to in-game currency. So you can say, you know what, we're going to actually take some of this and divvy it up and turn it into way outs of barterable goods, silver, gold, whatever. In Molly's case, she's not necessarily represented by this. She sort of is, sort of isn't. She's kind of playing a side game. Her cut's going into buying up parts for the spaceship, which, once again, she's got a long way to go, but her cut out of this, she's going to be looking for things that she can,
Like hydrazine.
The console, the dashboard you guys took, might be getting rebuilt into a spaceship console. So, I mean, I realize the system, it's going to take a little bit to, does this generally make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense, yeah.
Okay. So, and in this game, I think you guys are going to be using this a lot more than you guys did with the riverboat. Because
I know, we still got to sell all that wine in the other game.
yeah, in the other game you guys made, I think it was 1, maybe 2 total transactions in the entire campaign. So I'm hoping to get more use out of it this game. So, all right, so the Jack goes back in.
Fuck that, Jack.
Yeah, fuck that Jack. First it was like, yeah, Jack. Fuck.
Well, no, the good one that gets both better and worse is the Queen. Because with the Queen, if you beat the card, it actually drops a payload. So if you had gotten a Queen out there and beaten it, now the Queen does get an even higher number than the Jack does, but if you beat it, it drops a payload. So it actually gives you a payoff at defeat. The one you really don't want to see is the King or the Joker. That's when you're just kind of boned.
Boned by the king.
And the queen drops her payload right on you.
Drops the payload right on your face.
Because I don't remember what exactly each of those do.
You have to beat her to get the payload.
Yeah, maybe she's into it.
Maybe, I guess so.
I mean, I'm not, but hey,
Whatever gets her.
yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Counter. I know with the Joker, you get that's turned into 2 attacks on you. So you had 2 problems that come against you.
Jeez.
No, the King just sucks balls. It's
Oh wow. Would you say he's the king of sucking balls?
yes, you don't want to see a King on the table. So, all right. But the point is, so right now you guys took a hit to opportunity, but you are cash positive. So you came out.
Yeah.
In fact, you are cash positive more than you lost opportunity.
Should we spend money?
You could buy this. You could buy your opportunity back up and still be cash positive.
We could buy me a sidecar that has a machine gun mounted on it. Mhm.
We could mount a machine gun on the truck.
And that
Yeah,
too.
but I don't know. I like his
idea.
So we'll think about it, and you guys can, in the next 2 weeks, send me your requests or your thoughts, and I'll start trying to work out
I
it.
just gave you my.
Yeah, we
one.
just yeah.
It's been decided and voted on.
Yeah.
We win.
Guys are wearing like aviator helmets.
That's
Yeah,
right.
what about it?
God,
Okay.
we can kill Illinois Nazis.
I mean, all we have to do is kill a bear and we can be rad bears.
That's right.
Mobile red bears.
Post game, my first comment will be, I definitely got a better feel for what motivates you guys. You guys are certainly a lot less interested in the mystery and the intrigue than the other party is.
I think some of these guys are
But it doesn't motivate you as universally.
right.
If I had thrown this at the other party, you guys definitely would have spent a lot more time trying to research what happened with this rig.
These characters are much more practical.
They're much more do. It's a lot less think and talk and a lot more do, which is fine. 100% fine, but definitely is going to have to adjust how I present the campaign and how I present the game, which is good. This was a nice sort of, it wasn't totally isolated, but this was a nice, more or less standalone story that let me feel out that truth about you guys, which is that you're more doers and thinkers and talkers.
If anyone noticed I was more quiet than usual, it's just because it hurts to talk. So
Well, yeah.
We need more drugs.
For those of you at home, Wayne just is 2 days out of oral surgery.
What you have done?
wisdom tooth taken out.
Oh, okay. I've done that.
Comments from you guys. Game, would you like, would you not like?
Yeah, it was good. Fuck those rad bears.
I told you I'd give you red bears. There's your red
right.
bears.
Yeah.
Love the town NPCs. Love the strange names and the quirks to some of them.
Yeah. Gil hates them. I love them. No, it's good. I think this was kind of a. It wasn't our first game, but it was kind of like a first game
It felt like
coming
a first
back.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was because we had a week off or a game off, so
It was
actually
almost a month.
almost a month off.
Yeah.
But then on top of that, the other game, it was prologue enough that I'm not sure quite,
Yeah.
because I never got a sense of how the party interacts with life on Earth,
Mm-hmm.
I guess is a way of putting it.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It was a prologue game too.
And so it revealed some useful things, but this game definitely, I think, gave me added information that I needed.
Yeah.
So, well, so the big thing being that you guys are more doers than talkers and thinkers, which is fine.
And as opposed to the other group too, the other group acted more like a family, whereas we're kind of like a dysfunctional group
Yeah.
in that, you know, we're a bunch of ex-cons who are trying to make it in the world, and it's, you know, you've got Gil who doesn't want to do, you know, he's like, oh, why the fuck would I want to do that? Why? Whereas, you know, when you were playing Lee, it was more of a let's figure this out, like you were saying.
Right.
You know, let's work out this puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
And I found it hard at first because it was like, well, you know, what the hell is Chad doing? He's, you know, putting up a roadblock, but then it was like, no, Gil is that kind of a guy. He you know, he's the asshole is going to go, no,
Yeah.
we're not going to do that.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to put my ass on the line for what? For nothing.
Yeah.
And
But he can be convinced. I mean, because I don't want to play any character that refuses to do anything ever all the time. Because I've played with people like that, and man, that's annoying. But he's an asshole, and he is also risk averse. I see him as like, it's about momentum with him. He is lazy, but then once he gets going, he's like a bull. He's unstoppable.
Well, it's also where these plot hooks that I asked you guys for come in handy, is because otherwise I would have to guess at things that would motivate Gil apart from putting a gun to his head.
Right.
But since I have those plot hooks, now I know things that would interest your character that I can start working into the plot and such. And that's one of the reasons I like those plot hooks so much, is because when all else fails, it makes the game more personal, which makes the players care about it more, and it also makes it gives me things that I know will motivate you at least to some degree.
Right. And Junior plays a lot different at the table than he did in my head, picturing how he was going to be. I think he's much more of a romantic than I initially intended him to be. Mm-hmm. Not that he acts romantic, it's just that he has this romanticized idea of what we're doing.
He's in this great adventure that's awesome and fun, and it's like, but to Gil's eyes, it's like there's death waiting around every corner.
Right. Yeah, one of the things for Boone when we found this thing is somebody else was already there.
Yeah.
We got beat to it.
I mean, as like you said, the group is very practical. We got beat there. I mean, Gil pointed out, what are we going to do? Are we going to get into a firefight? Are we going to kill these people so that we can continue on?
Well, at the metagame level, that was exactly the test. I was trying to see, and there was no wrong answer, but I just need to understand, would you as a group, how would you handle that? What were you going to attempt to con them? Were you going to attempt to attack them? Or were you just going to say screw it and walk away?
Yeah.
And
Boone, I think, has a sense of, I don't want to go so far as to say a sense of honor, because he'll do what's necessary for survival.
Right.
But someone else found it first.
Mm-hmm.
It's theirs.
Yeah.
That was kind of his thought to it of, if I found it, I want it to be mine.
And deep down inside of Gil's black little heart, it's like, okay, sure, we could walk over there and we could start shooting these people. A, Gil doesn't want to get hurt, but B, he knows Boone can handle himself, but Power Jr. is going to get killed. And he doesn't want Power Jr. to get killed, or Fat Tony to get killed. So someone's going to die, and it's going to be ugly. He's seen the ugliness of that level of violence before. It's not something he shies away from, but it's something he's very practical about. It's like, if we're going to do this, let's make sure it's worthwhile. This, right now, to his mind, is a rusted hunk of junk. And we're going to die over it. Or we're going to take life over it. It's like, no, we're going to turn around and walk away.
Yeah, we're lucky I didn't get the jump on somebody. 'Cause I full-heartedly was ready to slit somebody's throat.
Yeah.
I think Boone and Gil were both ready to just turn around and walk away.
Yeah.
Then we got Saw.
Mm-hmm.
And Junior was more of a, wait, but we're already out here. What are we doing? Why can't we go? Why can't we make friends with these guys? What's the problem? That's building off of his reliability of first impressions.
Yeah.
He thinks he can make friends with anybody, even with when he says the inappropriate things to women, which is that's why he's incompetent with the ladies. He still doesn't come off as being. I'm trying not to come off as being completely an asshole. It's more of a, well.
Yeah,
it's just your hair's a mess.
You're not doing, was that negging? You're not
I'm not negging.
Purposely negging.
No.
It's like you are just that clueless.
Right.
yeah, it's what they call Hamlin's razor, which some most people know Occam's razor, which is shorthanded to, of any possible explanations, the simplest one is probably the truthful one, which actually isn't exactly what it says, but that's how it's popularly understood. Something called Hamlin's razor that says that whenever a motivation is in doubt, assume it's stupidity before you assume malice. So just assume somebody's really that dumb before you assume that they are acting with some kind of ill intent. They really just don't get it. And so, cool. All right, well, I think we'll go and cut this one out here. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we should, unless something comes up, we should be back in 2 weeks with the next installment.
Yep. See ya.